public media from Fordham University, on air, online, and always commercial-free.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is August, and it's time for another one-on-one, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. I'm Tom Tisdale, joined alongside by Emma Leonardi and Sam Giangrande. We've got Kurt Sippel behind the glass. He's wearing a lot of different caps here today. He's video producer as well as audio producer, and he might chime in for a couple segments regarding baseball, or if he has anything else to toss in. We'll skip the formalities because we have a game right off the bat, courtesy of our very own Sam. Sam, I'm just going to let you take it away.
So we have 3 games today. I'm going to introduce 2 of them now. The first one, this is not the one I've been hyping up for a while, but it's going to be throughout the entire show. I called it Code Words, and I'm going to text each of you 2 words, and throughout the show, you're going to try and say it as much as possible, and at the end of the show, you're going to have to guess what each other's word is. So there's an easy and a hard word. The easy one, you get 1 point every time. I'm going to say this, you guys will probably have to keep track of when you say it.
Okay.
Because I have to force myself to not smile when I hear it. But you get 1 point for the easy word, 3 for the hard, and at the end of the show, you're going to guess the word. So I'm going to text you guys that now. But just when I have nothing to do, all I do is think about games. Like, it's... What else is there in life outside of games?
I love it.
And just the creativity's off the charts.
I know, so
I'm scared.
I'm getting them out now.
I'm like the least subtle person ever, I feel
so
like.
The one on the left is the easy one, then the next one's the hard one. So I sent that to Emma, and then to you, Thomas, you're going to get these 2.
Okay.
All right, they're sent out. So throughout the entirety of the show, you're going to want to try and use those as much as possible, and then at the end, probably within 2 minutes or after, we're gonna we'll tally the votes. We'll see if you can guess them. We'll see if actually maybe even behind the glass of Kirk can try and guess them.
I like those. And for the audience listening out there, if you sort of know what the word is,
call in.
And call in. Please. The number is 718-817-2750.
The plug right there, Tom.
Or even that was very seamless. That was beautiful. Even comment on the YouTube video if you don't want to call in.
If you're nervous, but so that's the first game. Now this is the one I've been hyping up for a while. I think it's my most ambitious game. So it's called the Pirates game or the Fools game. Do you guys know what that is?
I
no.
do not.
So if you've ever taken a psych class or a philosophy class, the simple premise is you have a pot of money and there's 2 people, and then you're told, okay, each of you don't know the other person's response. You can either accept the money, and if you both accept it, no one gets it, or one person can accept it, and then if one does, the other doesn't, then that person gets the money. Or you can just both. I think in the rules there's also you can either split it in half, but we're not going to do that. It's a little different how I did it, because I actually just remember that rule. I'm going to say the name of an athlete. You guys sent me a list, and you're both going to have 10 seconds to think if you want this athlete to be in your draft. We're going to do, depending on how fast this goes, 3 to 5. I didn't have any test subjects, unfortunately, so I don't know how this is going to go, but you're either going to put up your green card or your red card to show if you want them. Okay. If one puts green and one puts red, the person with green gets it. If it's both red, no one gets it. And then if you both put green, something else happens. I'm going to let it be a surprise for the first time it happens. So I have you guys also just write out the list of the players you do get, so I can keep track of who we haven't used. Well, again, I'm trying to think of who's the first one I want to use. I'm going to go right off the back, because I think it's the... All right, I think I know what I'm going to do first. First player we're going to do is LeBron. So you have 10... Whoa. It's supposed to be at the same time.
It's the same time? Okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
Okay,
that's
so
right.
I mean, you knew I was going to do that, though.
So we can do a countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So I'll just do now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
Well, we're going to find out what happens.
No one gets LeBron, but the trick is if you both put green, I take someone off of another list. So it's you're supposed to not want to do double green.
Oh, okay.
So I think the first one who's going to get double eliminated is...
Oh, no.
I'm trying to think. Goodbye, Aaron Rodgers. He's off the
That
list.
was on your list?
He was on the list.
Whoa, that is wow.
So you're gonna slowly try and figure out who is on these lists.
I grew up a Packers fan.
I do like him a
So-
lot.
I mean, fair
Like,
enough.
as a
I guess.
person, I think
he's
he's a
gone
very-
off the rails a little bit.
He's a very interesting person. I would say that to the least. So Aaron is gone and LeBron is gone.
That's so.
Those are two
That's
big
bad.
people
Sucks.
off
That's
right
really
off the bat.
tragic.
All right. Next player, I'm trying to think. We're going to go Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, everybody. That's the thing. You
Interesting.
do need to get players. You can't
I
just-
do. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Hmm.
It's a mental game. You have to try and see, are they going to do it? Or, like, if it's not on your list, do you, like, immediately, like, not go for it?
Yeah. Okay. I'm ready whenever you are.
I'm ready.
All right, I'll count it to 3. 3, 2, 1. All right, so
Okay.
Emma, that's your first player.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to let her have Dwayne Wade.
Thanks.
I don't know who Dwayne Wade is on top of my head. I won't lie.
It was him, LeBron, Bosch, like that was the whole like Heat crew back when I lived in
okay.
Miami.
He was always second fiddle, so I'm happy
and
to let her have
also,
the second option.
my mom went to the school that she went to Marquette, and he went to Marquette, I think. Or he went to her high school. He went to one school that she went to, and then we moved to Miami, and he came to Miami, and so her whole joke is that he follows her around. Anyway,
He did go to Marquette.
Good story.
he did go to Marquette, yeah. That was right.
Interesting story with that. All right, next player. I think we're going to go with Jalen Brunson. Brunson's on the table right now.
Okay.
He's here with us. Spirit form, of course. Not actually.
The chair's there for.
Okay.
We're right there with.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
a big
We take
one.
that. We take that.
Brunson's a big
We
one.
take that all day.
I was going to put Green. I'm not gonna lie, but I felt like I knew Thomas was gonna put Green,
That's
and I
the thing,
didn't
you have
want
to go
another
with-
player taken off of.
That
okay.
is true.
All right.
It's
all right.
It's all
Especially if
about
it was
the-
gonna be one of mine.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
all
that's
about the
fair.
mental game.
That's fair.
That's the point of it. All right, next player we're gonna go with. I think we're gonna get our big one off that. We're gonna go with Messi. Messi's on the
Okay.
table.
Okay.
All
okay.
right. I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Wha-
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think
this
Thomas
is-
is winning
This
right
is
now.
a dream start.
You can have
This
him,
is
to
a
be
dream start.
honest. I don't
Messi,
want him.
that's a big player off the table.
Thomas,
So-
just remember this when it comes to my players that are sad.
No, but
Remember this.
I think I have a general idea of what you want, so I'm gonna I'll psych you out.
We'll see. That's the thing though. It's like I love like the mental like thing behind it. Like what do you do? Like try and get in someone's head. All right, next player. I think we're gonna go with Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes.
I do know who that is. We were talking before the show about hockey players,
Yeah.
and I was, I seriously doubt my ability to name a lot of hockey players, but Quinn Hughes, I do know.
Well, how can you not?
He's,
Like,
he's a known person.
all right.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
I knew you were.
Oh,
gonna do that.
wow.
I knew you
Yeah.
were gonna do that.
That's just
Thomas
that's what
wanted
the
to
game's
take one
about.
out.
That's what the game's about.
Well, so Quinn Hughes, he's gone, but I think we're gonna take away Ben Rice, so he's gone.
Yeah,
too.
that's okay. That's
that
fair.
seems fair.
That's
That
fair.
seems
Yeah,
fair.
so-
That's fair.
He's gone as well. All right, next one. I'm trying to think. Thomas, you have him on your back. Felipe Coutinho.
I
He's
do.
in the cards.
I do.
So,
Okay.
which I actually didn't realize he was on your list because in my head I was like, oh, he's wearing this shirt. He's like probably good for him. So I just saw he's on there now.
Okay.
Felipe Coutinho. 3, 2, 1.
Wow, that is
Oh
so
my
messed
God,
up.
that's
That
a
is messed up.
Low blow
But,
right there.
I mean, fair enough. I suppose.
So I'm trying to think who would go.
There is one person, Thomas, that if you do it just to like so that I don't get him, I will be so mad.
I
There's
have not
one
constructed
person.
my list in any particular order, but I know
think
you have.
Who goes away is Francesco Lindor. He's off the table.
Francisco.
Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
See, that's why I need the pronunciation.
Okay, that's
here.
fine. You know, that's Papa, but it's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine.
That's all right.
Who is next? I think next we're gonna go with
Okay.
Mbappe.
Oh,
Mbappe's out here.
No. Okay. Well, I know what you're gonna do, but I can't. Okay.
It's trickery. It's you have to really get into the mind of your friends
You
right
do, you
here.
do.
Yeah.
All right, for Mbappe, 3, 2, 1. The mix-up.
I'm happy to let her have Mbappe. I'm totally fine with
That
that.
actually
is the
wasn't.
mix-up.
That actually
Wow.
wasn't the one where I was gonna be.
Oh,
really
I
mad
know.
If you
I
did-
know.
Okay.
I'm in your head.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, you're absolutely rattled right now.
Okay.
Now I'm confused.
Yeah.
All right.
I've just
Alright.
read your mind there.
All right. Next player we're gonna.
that was just like that was a massive W for me though. I just have to say.
That is a good pull. The tides are evening a little. That's what I
Yeah.
can say.
Yeah.
All right. Next one I think we're gonna go with Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
He's world renowned.
He is.
Okay.
I can't see who you guys have on. Even to me, it becomes a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Is that I think the first double red?
What is double red?
That just means no one gets
Okay.
it.
Okay. That's
So
fair.
he's just off, but
Okay,
there's
that's
no
fine.
there's no double punishment right there.
Yep.
Next one, I think we're gonna go with Gabby, World Cup winner with Spain. See, that's what I was. That's what we said. I was very
I'm taken aback by
surprised.
that one. Wow.
That's
As a person, I think he is.
when
a
I
hilarious
sent my list to
person.
Sam, I said this is personality. These are
Yeah.
personality picks, and
Okay,
some of
fair
them
enough,
some of
fair
them
enough.
happen to be very good athletes.
I wouldn't say Gabby's like up there, but
But personality pick.
maybe for a year he was
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
He
I mean,
was
he's-
kind of up
It's got
there.
princesses fawning over him, so I don't
Oh my
hate that.
God, I
pick.
remember that.
All right.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
so-
fine.
Okay.
That's
Is
fine.
it 3, 2 or 4, 2?
3-2. 3-2.
3, 2.
I have,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Gabby is off the books. Next one, Mohamed Salah, Liverpool legend.
Okay.
Just
okay.
left the club. All right. Like that's the thing. I feel I should wrote maybe notes on each one, to give a little description of who these people are, but I can't. I mean, Thomas has a list resonates a lot more to me with who I know on there. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Double green. That's fine.
Sorry.
That's all right. No.
All
Sorry.
right.
I actually changed it last minute.
That's a low blow. I think for
Sorry.
that, Salah's gone. We're gonna get rid of Connor Bedard.
No. No.
Right off, he's gone.
I knew Connor Bedard was on that
It was
list.
a low blow, Emma. I'm sorry.
Was that the one that?
That was the one where I was gonna
I
be
only
mad.
knew that because it was in all caps. So you kind of gave yourself away there.
Yeah, that's poor. For
That's my husband.
He's gone. He's sent to the shadow realm. If you
It's
will.
okay because right now he's injured, so maybe he's just
Oh.
maybe we're just gonna pretend he's off.
He's
and,
just,
like,
he's just
getting
gonna
better.
rest. You know,
He's fine.
he can't be here for.
He's
for
he's
the
always gonna be
experience.
with me in spirit.
I guess so.
You know.
All right, I think
It's
we'll
okay.
get it to where. Trying to think if it's 3-2. We'll do next 2 someone gets, and then we'll end it there. Next one I have is Iniesta, another World Cup winner of Spain,
Yeah.
but back in 2010 when
Yeah.
he won it with them. Andres Iniesta. All right, 3, 2, 1.
At this
Dang
point,
it.
my husband's
it.
gone.
He's gone,
I
so
just have to keep.
Emma
Going.
has vengeance right
All right,
now.
that's fine. That's
My
fine.
husband's
You're gonna play
gone.
dirty. It's gonna come back to bite you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Next
Well,
one.
it already bit me.
you can
It
try to-
already bit me.
You can try to
Like,
rage bait me, but that's just not gonna fly.
It already bit
Yeah.
me. Like
Thomas
my
wants to
husband's
smoke
gone.
right now.
It'll
right?
come back.
All right, next. Let's see who I got. I got Peyton Manning, so he's gone too.
Peyton Manning's gone.
He
That's all right. That's okay.
fan favorite for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
I'll live with that.
Next one, John Carlson. John Carlson.
Am I allowed to look up who this person is?
If you want, yeah,
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Oh my god.
Just because I don't even know who it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fairly easy choice.
All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, so
Okay.
was that 4,
That's
2?
Papa.
4-2.
I
All
love
right.
him.
So he is gone. All
I actually
right.
forgot he was I put him as 15 and then I just filled in everything between like cuz I knew I wanted him on there but I didn't want to
He's not
him.
that
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
He's a filler.
No.
I'm happy to let you have that one.
All right,
I
next
love him.
one, KDB, Kevin De Bruyne. Let me talk.
Let me talk.
Let me talk.
Let me talk.
The ginger legend of
We're
Manchester
doing
City.
5, right? 5 people.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
boost it to 5, and if you don't get 5, then it's
That's fine. That's fine.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll get it to 5. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
have
We
That
did
You
that.
can
that
That's
is a
okay.
good pick.
You
I
can
won't
take
lie.
I was going to do green.
I mean, as a Liverpool fan, it may be a little bit strange that a Man City player's
He-
on there, but
he's
I mean,
great.
he's just so fantastic.
It's hard
watch.
to root against him with how
Yeah.
good he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick Kane. Once again, I don't know who that is.
I know.
Come
I know.
on,
He's a.
Thomas.
I saw Kane. I was like, wait, Harry Kane? No,
No.
I'd be too fortunate.
I know
to see
he was.
that
He was
name.
quite good for the Blackhawks, but okay.
It's the mental game behind all this. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Patrick Kane. He made it to someone's list. All right. We don't have too many left. Let's see. Next one.
Well, it's
I
just-
also
it's
I
just
also
me,
have
apparently.
5.
Yeah,
It was
it's
a 5
just
to
me.
2 or 3?
5 to 3.
5 to
Yeah.
3. All right. Next one. Steven Gerrard, another Liverpool legend.
Okay. Well, now she
Never
just
won the
ha-
league,
now
though.
she just has to choose which one she wants to block.
True. But then that might get rid of someone else. You don't know. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we take that. We take that.
It's not a great pick.
I think the rule should be that if she steals someone, she has to replace them on her team.
Ooh.
So instead of getting 6,
Wait,
she,
I love that.
she has
Yeah,
to
I can
replace
do
them
that.
with 5.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
could totally do that.
So there's a little bit of
All
jeopardy
right.
involved.
Yeah. Okay. We can do that.
I can do that. Yeah.
All right. See, making rules on the fly right here. All right. Next one. Alcaraz. I pronounced that right?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
good. Carlos Alcaraz hasn't played in a while, but still probably my favorite tennis player to watch.
He is.
So we'll see.
He is a good player. All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
I did-
Double red.
Yeah, there's some players on the list I'd rather see.
I think he was
true.
also trying to get
Round out
me
my
to do
5.
green.
I
so that it would-
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Next one. Logan Thompson. Logan Thompson.
This was the jersey one.
Oh, so this
Oh.
was
This was the jersey
this
one.
is the one you're hinting at
My
earlier.
birthday. It was last Tuesday, and I got Logan Thompson's jersey for my birthday.
Okay. Well, I feel like I have to give you this one.
All right.
It's a birthday.
Is there,
gift.
is there a mutual respect with this one?
It's
3,
a birthday gift.
2, 1.
Yeah.
It's a
All
birthday
right.
gift.
So
Okay. Who are you taking off?
I am taking off Gavi.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bye.
That's fair.
Uh,
That's fine.
Just
I-
because we're going talent. Now we're going
I don't really think he was that in demand.
that
I'd
was
say.
a that was
Yeah,
a
that's fair.
besides
personality
for
hire.
Spanish princesses.
Yeah.
So Thomas, we got 3 or 4 now.
We're at 4.
All right. I think next one we're gonna go with is Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
So this is what I was saying earlier. Like I couldn't say it loud when the game against the Steelers where they missed the playoffs and like the last kick of the game. I was like, I felt for him there because they went right to Panda him. And he was like devastated.
Yeah.
All right. So 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, we take that.
Wow.
So is
Oh.
that 5 and 5 now?
That's,
Yeah.
All right,
5
so-
and 5.
I think I'm trying to think. I don't want to be the sole vote. I think Kurt will we'll each put in our vote, and then if on top of that's a tie, I'll just veto you. So
Wait,
but I
that's
do want your opinion.
that's so unfair because I have 3 hockey players and you don't watch hockey.
Well, no, that you know what, you have to sell me then. We're at another rule.
Okay.
You have to sell me on this.
Okay.
Tell me why
Okay.
you guys should win. I'll start with you, Thomas. Give me your Shark Tank pitch.
We've just got great balance. 3 soccer players really anchoring the midfield of this team, but then
True.
we have the king of New York, Jalen Brunson, who's just done immaculate things for the city. And then Lamar Jackson is just probably the most electric football player to watch.
He is great.
So yeah, just a great top 5. I just don't see how anyone else can compare.
So can you just say all 5 players quickly?
We've got Jalen Brunson, we've got Lionel Messi, we've got Kevin De Bruyne, we've got Steven Gerrard, and we've got Lamar Jackson.
It's a pretty hard list to beat. Emma, give me your 30-second elevator pitch right
Okay,
now.
we have Dwayne Wade who hold on. I'm trying to make sure that I'm right on these stats because I'm trying to calculate how many big trophies I have with my entire list.
I thought this was a personality list.
It's a personality list.
It was at
but-
first, but that was
so
the real
Dwayne
cycle.
Wade has won championship rings 3 times in the NBA. Mbappe, obviously,
World Cup winner.
I don't even have to explain that one to you. Logan Thompson, while he doesn't have any Stanley Cup wins, I'm sure he's on his way, and he's the top goalie for the Washington Capitals. He is, I feel like that's also a birthday one. You got to give me that one. I just love him so much.
Maybe.
John Carlson won with the Capitals in 2018. Patrick Kane has 3 Stanley Cup championships, all with the Chicago Blackhawks.
See, there's a lot of variety with Thomas's, I would say. Emma's is more that is pretty impressive. I don't know. Kurt, do you want to chime in before I give my pick?
I don't have headphones back here.
Oh, okay. He doesn't have headphones back there, but just point at us.
Just
Which
Yeah,
one?
I think he's just point if you're
Sorry, I
able
was had to exchange
go.
the microphones.
Okay.
I had the wrong one. I'm having trouble here because the variety of the lists are. I like variety, and that's where it kind of goes to Thomas when it comes to the list. When I was listening to the list, I like the variety of athletes. You give me a face here. I'm telling you, I think it's the variety of the athletes. If it's all hockey players, I mean, it's a different story.
I put variety on my list.
Me
On
too.
my
It was
original
eight. It was
list.
8 hockey players though.
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
admit.
That's a little ridiculous.
Right,
So I'm trying to
right.
think.
But I also had an Olympic swimmer on there.
That is true. That's true.
a French Olympic
Wait,
swimmer.
A
Do you have-
French Olympic
Oh,
swimmer.
I had Michael Phelps on. my list.
Automatically doxed points there.
I'm trying to think. Do I veto you, Kurt, or do I just agree? I'm trying to think.
I like how Kurt's vote is just basically worthless.
It's
at
more
this
just
point.
like to either. It's either to support my vote and make me look better, or I just don't really care. But
Sam doesn't realize if he votes against me, I just turn off his microphone.
Oh.
Well, I won't lie, Kurt. I wasn't gonna go against it. It's Thomas. Like I
Let's
can't
go.
deny.
Let's go.
I can't deny Thomas. I think you had a very good list. I think you played smart with who'd you try to get, and overall, you're the champion. The first ever Pirates game on FUV.
This was a fantastic game, and I'm looking to go 3 for 3 today. So
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
you better step your game up. But that's going to do it for us in this intro segment. Two of the players eliminated in this little game of Pirates game was Ben Rice and Francisco Lindor. But we're going to be talking about them. We're going to be talking about the Yankees and the Mets after this break. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to One on One.
I'm Kurt Sipple, telling you to tune into One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. Catch us live every Saturday on our WFUV Sports YouTube Live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later on 90.7 WFUV from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We break down the week's latest headlines with our collection of tri-state area beat reporters, along with interviews with your favorite athletes and media personalities. WFUV is your home to talk all things New York sports.
I'm Isabella Terracini.
And I'm Barrett Spreitzer. We're two of your hosts for College Gridiron, the exclusive home for all things college football on WFUV Sports.
Join us as we break down the biggest matchups of the week, Heisman hopefuls, and college football playoff previews.
Listen in on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Mary Hawthorne, one of your hosts on WFUV's tennis podcast, Cross the Line. From breakdowns of majors to courtside U.S. Open coverage, we've got you covered on all things tennis from the ATP and WTA. Tune in to weekly episodes of Cross the Line on YouTube and featured segments on One on One. Cross the Line, WFUV's home court for tennis.
Welcome back inside the Rose Hill studio here on the campus of Fordham University. It's a beautiful August day here, and we welcome Kurt Sipple into the studio. He's got the New York Post sports section
Oh.
pulled out in front of him.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna open the segment with my feet up on the desk and reading the newspaper, but I didn't know how that would be decided.
That's aura, though.
you should just
What happened again?
you should have
Don't worry.
done it. But we've got a pretty baseball packed show. We didn't
Yeah, we
do
did.
much of a rundown in the intro, but we've got Yankees, Mets, we've got the MLB trade deadline. Kurt, who's joined us, just has recently returned from Cooperstown this past weekend. So we'll have a video about that. We'll talk about LeBron and some general NBA, and then we have the last hour is soccer before finally another one of Sam's magical games.
Sam's magical
but-
games.
But we'll get started with the better team in New York. I know I'm joined by two Mets fans here, and it's just been a pretty disastrous season for y'all, all things considered. But the Yankees,
Talk about disasters.
it's been patchy to say the least.
Yeah.
July didn't treat us too kindly, and then recently the losing to the White Sox, including 2 games in 10 innings is really not what you want to see. But they played tonight against the Cubs after taking the first game of the series 2-0 last night. But the story of the past few weeks has really just been the offense has just been really, really disastrous. I'm sure that's something that y'all are delighted to see, but it certainly seems that it's Aaron Judge.
Don't even get me
there's
started on this conversation.
It seems to me that there's an Aaron Judge.
Every
size
time
hole.
I have to have an Aaron Judge conversation, it's like brain rot for me. Like, seriously, I'm like, I don't want to talk about Aaron Judge anymore. And he's literally, like, he's injured. Like, he's injured. Okay, we get it. Like,
I mean, you have to talk
like,
about Aaron Judge if you're talking about the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if Juan Soto was out. Like,
he is out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like,
it's Aaron Judge and friends is the issue with the Yankees. They've scored since he's been out. They've scored 200 runs, the 5th fewest in the MLB, because it is literally Aaron Judge and friends for the most part with their offense. They cannot play baseball unless Aaron Judge is in the lineup.
yeah.
And that's just how they're built. That's been how they're built for the last few years.
But, like, that's not how you should be built. Like, I'm not saying that's what you're arguing, but...
I mean, like, what else? Like, when you have a superstar like that, how else are you supposed to construct the roster? I mean, you look at the lineup, and they have a couple of good, they have some really solid pieces. Ben Rice has stepped up in a big way. But then the rest of the lineup's been sort of mediocre. Trent Grisham's in a 2-for-38 streak, or he was a couple days ago. And it's just the rest of the team's faltering at the one time where you can't really be doing that, because if the rest of the lineup was playing like this and Aaron Judge was, being his normal self, then it's maybe not a problem. But when you're losing in extra innings after scoring 0 runs in a 9-inning stretch, like, that's just not going to cut it for a team that has World Series expectations coming into the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
I completely agree. I think more than anything right now, it's the way that the Yankees have struggled to the point where it seems like Aaron Boone has yet to answer the questions. And that's just how he is as a manager as a whole, is the kind of avoid what's going on and answer the questions that he's not answer the question he's being asked, but like bat around it a lot. Even Jazz Chisholm, the quote I wrote down from The Athletic was, "We needed a reset with the Cubs game that happened last night to win that game." Don't get me wrong, needing a reset is two different things, but when you're playing the brand of baseball that they've played without Aaron Judge, and this is a very consistent thing, when the Yankees were good, it was because they had another prolific hitter in the lineup. I didn't think I said that correctly. Prolific hitter in the lineup with Juan Soto. That's when they went to the World Series. Yeah. Because you had Juan Soto and then Aaron Judge, you had to pitch to one of them. Couldn't walk both of them. So that was the way around it. Now the Yankee lineup is not constructed where it's Aaron Judge and then everyone else is kind of not as feared as everyone else. Yeah. Jazz Chisholm Jr., not really someone that you can say you'll fear. I know Bobby Chaffardini in the back has said about Jazz Chisholm that he might have value for other teams. I don't think there is much value in Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Yeah.
And the way that he has played baseball. And also the way that he's been kind of just a nightmare for the clubhouse, just because he always likes the media attention, like the lollipop thing that he was doing in the beginning of the season. It's tough because the Aaron Judge-sized hole in the roster is always the biggest deal, because when your best player's out, it's very difficult to win baseball games.
Yeah.
But a baseball team is not one player. It's a collection of everybody. And that is the biggest issue. There's been so many injuries that have plagued this Yankee roster. I mean, even when it comes down to the pitching of it all as well, has been quite an issue for the Yankees. Like, Fried was out for quite a while. You had a bunch of your top guys just not in the lineup, in both the bullpen and in the lineup. So it became very difficult to win baseball games.
I've had some chirping, probably not the right word, from our sports director here, just refuting some of your Jazz points. He's got 16 homers on the season, 45 RBIs, and 30 stolen bases. I understand sort of the clubhouse stuff, and you were maybe expecting him to be, one of the top 3 second basemen in the MLB, especially with him being in a contract year where this is potentially a chance for him to make a truckload of money.
I don't think he deserves the amount of money that he's looking for.
He definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
But he's not nearly as bad as maybe you're painting him.
As bad as he might be painted to be, but I also just don't think that he is as good as marketed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I think that comes with the spotlight of playing in New York, and I understand the criticisms coming with some of the stuff he does in the media, but you also someone's got to take the spotlight at some point, and with Judge out, you'd rather that be on a guy who seems comfortable in the limelight. I think Jazz is certainly comfortable being the star of the franchise, even though maybe he doesn't play
in his
like
last
one.
7 games, he's been batting 185 right now. Jazz
And also, you're
Chisholm with
talking
2 RBIs
about like the
and
Aaron
5
Judge,
hits.
the Aaron Judge spotlight. That's such a massive spotlight that like, do you really think that he can fill that? And I'm not saying massive
No,
just because
I'm
of his
not saying
height,
like
but
I'm not saying
but like,
Not just because he's 7 feet tall.
yeah.
I'm not saying he deserves the spotlight's probably the wrong way to put it. But if the spotlight's on him and he's a guy who's comfortable in it, that means that's less spotlight on a guy who's struggling. Like Trent Grisham isn't getting hounded in the media in the way that he probably deserves, and maybe that's a way that this clubhouse can stay together with the lineup being as poor as it has been.
I mean, look at the last 7 games for the Yankees. You have 1, 2, 3 guys batting under 200 right now with the Yankees. Austin Wells has just been poor at best this whole entire season. He's taken quite the dive, and his last 30 games, he's averaging a 149 batting average, a 222 OBP. I don't know why I'm so off today.
It's okay.
But he's just been so poor, Austin Wells. And yet again, it doesn't come with the media maybe not insulting you, with the media spotlight. Jazz media spotlight comes because he makes poor decisions.
Yeah.
There's been quite difficult decisions when he's in the field, as well as with the media things that he does. The lollipop is the one that I can always go back to just because it's a big one. Or even his quotes where he says, everyone on the team knows I'm the best. Or like that you're the best in the world. No one said that.
Yeah.
Maybe they did, but I don't really believe that anyone actually said that.
Okay. Point taken. And you brought up Austin Wells. I think he's a person at the trade deadline. We're going to talk about the trade deadline more holistically in a later segment. But he's a guy that you sort of have a big circle around, like you need someone to step in and fill that gap.
Who fills the gap at catcher, though? Because Austin Wells, you might trade him for a bag of peanuts.
I don't think it's
Lay's potato chips, maybe?
I think you've just got to
might not be worth Ruffles.
You've got to dump some prospects. I know Hunter Goodman's a name that gets thrown around, and I think he'd be like the dream pickup for this Yankees team. And then also another name that is circled pretty much always is Anthony Volpe. Just does not have enough offensive production for how poor he is defensively, especially when you have a guy like Jose Caballero backing him up. He was above average shortstop in the time that Volpe was working his way back from injury, and maybe he slowed down a bit, but the Volpe's offensive production is not where it needs to be for he's just not a good hitter, and there's really no other way around it.
If you want Hunter Goodman, you have to be willing to give up prospects.
Yeah.
And literally in the New York Post, as I was looking at it, was the who are you going to keep and who are you going to let up was one of the main stories for today's paper, just because the Yankees are known. I was talking to our sports director Bobby Chaffardini about this. Their Yankees are known for keeping their prospects and hyping them up for quite a while, and then maybe them not panning out. Spencer Jones is one of those pieces that you should probably keep, but George Lumbar is somebody that's a big name in the minor leagues that the Yankees have been hyping up for quite a while. And it doesn't seem like they're going to trade him anytime soon because they want to keep their chips close and their farm system close as well. So it becomes, who can you trade on the field? And I don't look at the names on the field other than if you're going to trade a bunch of them to get a catcher of the caliber of Hunter Goodman, who was an all-star this season.
Yeah. That's fair. I see the point about, the Yankees always keeping, their players and their prospects in the system, and we've seen the same thing with Jason Dominguez. Like, this guy was highly touted. He was constantly thrown in trade rumors, but they were all, Brian Cashman was like, no, he's going to be our star left fielder, and then he's come up to the major leagues. He's 24 now, and he just hasn't panned out in the way that he's needed to. And you thought maybe in Judge's prime years, you should be a little bit more aggressive at the trade deadline. I was looking through the last 7 or so trade deadlines for the Yankees, and they just haven't really picked up a lot of great pieces that moved the needle a ton. Like last season was probably one of their better ones, and they just never seemed together enough to make a World Series or even beat that Dodgers team.
Yeah. I think, I always just go back to, you just can't rely on Judge, and I don't even think, acquiring any, other, bigger hitters or anything like that. I think that you just need the people that you have to step up, and if you think that there are people in that lineup that aren't going to step up, then you need to start cycling people in, because, we just can't, rely on one person. And I always come back to that argument. It makes me frustrated when, the Yankees, because I don't even obviously I'm a Mets fan, so I dislike the Yankees, the normal amount for a Mets fan, but I'm also it's not even that I hate the Yankees or I really want to see them fail or anything like that. I'm just I don't like them because I'm a Mets fan, but it makes it hard to even want them to succeed as a New York team because of the fact that it's just it is a team sport. You need to be able to rely on your entire lineup. And that's the same thing with the Mets. I would say they don't just rely on one person. They rely on a couple people, but even then you can't just rely on a couple people. The entire 9-person lineup has to be at least putting in effort to get on base. You don't need to be hitting home runs. You just need to be putting an effort on base. I'm excited to see what happens as, the trade deadline approaches, if there's any last minute, trades with the Yankees, with the Mets as well. But just to see if they can fix that. 'Cause I'm just
I do think the silver lining for this Yankees team is that there's really no one else in the AL besides the Rays and maybe the Red Sox, if they can continue to stay hot, that you feel it is really running away with the American League. And assuming that the Yankees have a decent trade deadline, maybe not a spectacular one, how far realistically can this Yankees team go in the postseason with a very weak AL, but also, just not having it together in quite a sustained way to maybe, win a World Series or contend against some of the best from the NL.
Yeah.
The Yankees can make it to the World Series.
Do you think they will?
This is their biggest opportunity.
Yeah.
The AL is weak. The Central's not great. The out West is even worse. A bunch of the teams that were competing with them last year, even the Toronto Blue Jays, have taken a dive since last season. So it comes down to the fact that the Yankees can make their Knicks run this year. That a lot of the teams that are stand in their way have a weaker lineup. They're not going to be like this next year. Everyone's going to beef up a lot more. And there's teams that are in the divisions that are going to try to make a run at this thing and that are going to try to acquire a lot more pieces as the deadline goes on, because a lot of people know that they can make a run at this thing, especially in the American League. There are a bunch of teams that can make a run at the World Series championship this season. So it becomes, if the Yankees are going to be able to compete with the other teams that are in their division, you can go down the list and say, are the Rays a legit contender? Are the White Sox a legit contender? Is Boston actually a legit contender in their division as well? The American League East has been much better than it was when we started out the year this season.
Yeah.
The Red Sox have gone on a real run. So it becomes, are these teams legit? And the Yankees have owned the Central for quite literally our entire lifetime. Bobby, could you think of a time when the Yankees didn't own the Central Division? No? I don't think so, right? I feel like they've always owned the Central Division. So it becomes that way with them that they are that good at beating those teams that they can make a run to the World Series really fast.
Yeah.
So that's about beefing up the lineup and playing consistent baseball, but the Yankees are unable to play consistent baseball when Aaron Judge is out of the lineup, and that's where it comes back to always. If Aaron Judge is not in the lineup, if Aaron Judge is injured, the Yankees have a problem playing on the field and off the field. It's just not how they are constructed to be without Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're expecting Aaron Judge to return in late August, early September, and you wonder whether that's enough time for him to ramp up to being, his MVP level.
Do you even need him to be his MVP level self? I think you just need him in the lineup.
Yeah, you just need him.
Genuinely, I think so much of it is psychological, and I think that's what frustrates.
Well, that's what I was saying.
You just need
you
just need him to strike a little bit of fear.
Yeah.
in the opposing pitching staff. I do really love the Knicks, comparison. I know maybe it's tough with as being a Nets fan and a Mets fan, but like the Knicks had question marks surrounding them all season. The Yankees, pretty much always have question marks, but they just found a way to stitch it all together, and make it happen. But I think that's going to do us for talking about the Bronx Bombers. We're going to switch over to the team in Queens after this break. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to One on One.
Hey, Yankees fans! Join us at Yankee Stadium on Friday, August 21st, as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And don't miss Cody Bellinger Bobblehead Night, presented by T-Mobile. The first 18,000 guests through the gates will take home an exclusive Cody Bellinger bobblehead. Get here early, grab the giveaway, and cheer on the Bronx Bombers. Tickets are available now at yankees.com/tickets.
Hi, I'm Mary Hawthorne, one of your hosts on WFUV's tennis podcast, Cross the Line. From breakdowns of majors to courtside U.S. Open coverage, we've got you covered on all things tennis from the ATP and WTA. Tune in to weekly episodes of Cross the Line on YouTube and featured segments on One on One. Cross the Line, WFUV's home court for tennis.
Racing stats.
Welcome back in to One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in show. Of course, the number, if you want to chat with us, is 718-817-2750. Come in and we can chat some Mets right now. We can also chat MLB trade deadline a little bit later on. I'm joined by two Mets fans, and it's pretty much been the same story throughout the season.
Yeah.
It's just the Mets just haven't been able to stitch a run together, and you've seen that the Boston team that sort of struggled, and you thought you saw that Boston team explode in that crazy winning streak. You thought maybe the Mets would be able to do it, but it doesn't look like they have the pieces to. They don't have the.
They have the pieces to.
What is missing? Why can't they do it? Like this is bad.
I mean,
it's consistency. It all comes back
really
to consistency. Jorge Polanco's batting 183 on the season, I'm pretty sure, at the moment. Like the Mets have brought in pieces, and it was a gamble that you were going to rebuild this team from the ground up.
Yeah.
With the players that you were going to bring in, like Bo Bichette, like Marcus Semien, like Luis Roberts. I don't know why I forgot Luis Roberts' name, because he was not in the lineup for half the year because he was injured.
Yeah.
And not many of them have panned out to the point where that you want them to. That was the issue with the Mets this season. You haven't had anyone consistently being able to play first base since Pete Alonso left. The experiment with Jorge Polanco flopped. You have Jared Young, who has played a good first base since that point. But it hasn't felt like the Mets have really been able to do much of anything since that point because the people that they have brought in have just been so disappointing.
Yeah. No, seriously. It's like I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I was just at the two Mets I was reporting on the Mets games last night and then Thursday night. And it's just I remember sitting there thinking to myself, and I will say the Marlins weren't playing well like either last night or Thursday night. It was like watching Little League. Actually, like I was like, what are we doing? What is going on? And I honestly the Mets won Thursday night and it was nice to see a win, but it was like kind of also luck because the Marlins were just not playing well specifically that night. They also weren't playing that well last night, but specifically that night they weren't playing that well, and it's just like luck, and it's like sad that you win a game 4-2 and it just feels like it was lucky. Like, and Kurt and I were like texting when I was at the game yesterday, and I was at the game and I was like, I honestly came here today not expecting them to win because I came yesterday and they won, and I just don't think that they can win 2 games in a row. And Kurt was like, yeah, I was at the game on Wednesday.
Yeah. The doubleheader.
Yeah, where you were like, it felt lucky just to like see the like a win like at all.
It just feels like uncompetitive baseball. That's not right.
Is that
the right word?
is that
way to say it? But
is that a
just,
clubhouse thing? Like just
I think
players not
I think the clubhouse thing is an overarching theme that everyone tries to bring it back to with the Soto Lindor stuff. And don't get me wrong, that can definitely be a issue with the Soto Lindor stuff that has been a problem supposedly with the clubhouse that they don't like each other. But I don't think it's a clubhouse issue. I think it's the season started out really slow. You didn't have consistent starting pitching for almost the entire Freddie Peralta was a great pitcher for the Brewers last season. He's taken a dive. Yeah. Kodai Senga made his first start in over 4 weeks or something like that, like 3 weeks. And he was all right for 3 innings, but then when he sees the next inning, he gives up 4 runs. And that's not all completely Kodai Senga's fault. The field has not been that incredible. But there's just been mistakes that you watch. On the game that I was at on Wednesday, the stat was the Mets turned 3 double plays in 2 games. That was their most amount of double plays they made since last season.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have Gold Glove shortstop Francisco Lindor playing for you, someone that has been hyped up as maybe a perennial Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been that great since coming back from injury. The field has been such a question for the Mets this season because of how many players you're playing out of position where they usually play.
Mm-hmm.
That it has been a nightmare for a lot of them. Even someone like Bo Bichette, who I was talking about before, who's had a better second half of the season. The Mets have had actually a better half of their season since coming back from the All-Star break.
Yeah.
But you're in an 18.5 game hole out of first place. You would have to go on a heater till the end of September, basically not losing any more games.
And everybody else would have to lose a bunch.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's just not going to happen. No, Andy Green yesterday was saying, he put it very diplomatic. He was like, we're just not on the championship path this season. And I was like, well, how else really are you going to say it? And it is, I will say, okay, I'm going to push back a little bit on Senga because I do think that some of it, as you said, Kurt, fielders backing him up, needs to be better. And I do genuinely think that they haven't been they weren't that bad. Also, his strikeouts were pretty nice. Especially, he said after the game that he was told he was starting yesterday at 3 p.m. and the game was 7:10.
That's nice.
So I feel like, and especially for somebody who has been so rocky, I feel like it is that is a very quick time to be oh, I'm starting in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Great. After not starting for so long. And I will say I was impressed with him, especially after he said that, because I was given how he's performed this season, I do think that he had like a nice. I think he had he left in the middle of the 5th inning, I believe. In the first 4 innings, he had 6 strikeouts. I think was what I had calculated. And they were nice. Like, they were clean, nice. Everybody was like everybody at City was like cheering him on. Like, after he got like every single strikeout, like they would cheer him on because they know that it's been tough for him. But
when he pitches, he's great.
Yeah.
But the issue is that he's had so many issues throughout his career.
Yeah.
And he's been injured so often. I remember 2 years ago, it had to be either last year or the year before that, when I was watching him pitch, and my friends were like, "Do you want to go get food?" And I was like, "No, Kodai Senga's pitching. I got to watch this."
Yeah.
And that was the game he got injured. And since that point, when he was running over to third base and he overextended his leg to hit first base. But since that point, it's felt like Kodai Senga has never been the same since then.
Yeah.
And that's become the issue with him, is that he went from pitching one inning of relief sometimes for the Mets to then starting games, somewhere like Sean Manaea, who had to earn his spot back into the roster.
Yeah.
And he's been a lot better, Sean Manaea, I was watching his pitches the other day and how much slower they get throughout the game. A little bit off topic, but he's pitching like a 75-mile-an-hour slider, and I'm watching, I'm like, how are they not just like bombing that out of the park just looking at it? Because his velocity has gone up. But I think that those two guys have been on similar trajectories, but someone like Sean Manaea has been so much better for the Mets, and he earned his spot back in the starting lineup, that Kodai Senga has never felt like he had his confidence back.
Yes. Andy was saying last night, too, he was like, it's nice to see him, pitch that, like the first few innings that he pitched, he was like, it's nice to see that from him because it gives us like the knowledge that he's still in there. Like, and I do think a lot of it is like a confidence thing, especially because you see, like, he was great in the first 4 innings, and then the 5th inning comes, and I think he walked 2 people, and immediately you can tell that the confidence is down.
Yeah.
Like,
see it in his body language.
You could see it in his body language. You can tell. He apparently, though, he like fought to stay on the mound. He stayed on the mound a few pitches after Andy came out to the mound to talk to him. And apparently he fought to stay on the mound, according to Andy, and then also according to him, Lindor was like, "No, you're like staying in." Like, and so I do think. And I think from what I could tell, he said it in a like, you're staying in as in a you can do this way. Not trying to put words in anyone's mouth. That's just how I took it. But, it's nice to see him have at least a few innings where he pitched really well. And it sucks that he can't like do more. But yeah, it really just is that. I think it is that confidence.
Are the vibes at Citi Field still fairly positive? Like,
oh no,
I mean, you mentioned that they're cheering for him every time he got a strikeout.
Every time he got a strikeout, they were
rarity?
cheering for him. Yesterday at Citi Field, it got to a certain point, where after every batter, if they struck out, like Mets batter, if they struck out, the entire crowd would boo, like the entire stadium.
Well, that was even
booing.
when. Was it Bo Bichette was up to bat, and he popped out with the bases loaded?
Yeah.
Last night,
and they all booed him.
Bo Bichette gets booed.
Yeah.
Often at Citi Field.
Yeah.
He will definitely be opting out of his contract at the end of this year, just because I don't think he's built for this scene in New York. He comes from Toronto, where Toronto roots for their players no matter what happens to them.
But who's gonna pay him $40+ million? You think?
I think that Bo Bichette, while he's having a down year this year, and he's not even really having a down year because the second half of the season for him has been very good.
Yeah.
The issue is that he started so poorly that I think it's going to be very difficult for him to get the money that he thinks he deserves.
Okay, gotcha.
But I still think that he's still worth the money that another team will pay him. He's definitely one of those guys that will go to a different team and be really great again.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just no way that he's taken a dive and his career is just ended.
Yeah.
Just like the image of him at Citi Field has forever been tarnished.
Oh yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, and I don't think like you have that like massive of an impact from, like a crowd, like where they're booing every time you're like.
That just comes with being in New York.
It
That's
comes
New
with
York
being in New
fandom.
York. That's true. Yeah.
If you're going to play in New York, you're going to get booed, and that's I don't remember who it was at the Hall of Fame. I think it was Carlos Beltran. He talked about how he went to New York after being in Kansas City, and he said that it's with okay. Hold on, I have to bring these both up. Okay, so Carlos Beltran said that when he was in New York City, that people were booing him when he started out really slow to his career with the Mets, and he was like, "No one's being patient with me," because Mets fans don't want patience; they want performance, especially when every New Yorker knows how much you're getting paid and understands what that impact is on their team. So they want that money to be well earned. They want you to earn every cent of your contract. That's what Carlos Beltran said, and I completely agree with it because that's what it is.
Yeah, and I don't think it's unfair too, especially given like the like massive contracts that are being given in this day and age of baseball. Like I just don't think that's unfair for fans to not expect like results.
Yeah.
When you're being given like this amount of money.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Just a quick glance towards sort of the trade deadline coming up on Monday at 6 p.m. I've seen a ton of names being thrown around as trade pieces for the Mets. I mean, they're going to be big sellers, probably the biggest sellers, I would say. Who would you like to see go that is maybe not talking about? I don't know if that's a bad question to ask, but is there someone who seems likely to be traded that you just want to hang on to for another season?
Luke Weaver is someone that will be traded. He hasn't given up a run in 27 of his last 29 starts. He's definitely going to get traded. He has another year of control. You have to think that the Mets have the opportunity next year to compete, and you need pieces on this roster. The Mets bullpen has been impeccable this season.
Yeah.
They have one of the best bullpens in the entirety of the MLB, and they're probably going to have to give a lot of that up if they want trade pieces back. Like, they have not given up a run in 17 and a half innings since the All-Star break. That's a pretty impressive stat. Brazaban has been incredible for the Mets this season. Luke Weaver had a bad start to his Mets career and then has been impeccable since that point. And those are guys that are going to probably get traded at the end of this because those are the people that you can get the highest returns for. Because Mark Vientos is injured and he's been bad. You might not even be able to get Cheez-Its for Mark Vientos. But that is something that's you have to really, it boils down to, do you want to keep some of these guys for next season? Because you have another year of control on their contracts. They're not going to leave. But you can also get top prospects because the New York Post is saying that the Pirates are interested in those two guys to go and get them for relief and try to make a run at the playoffs because their team has been so disappointing for their fans.
Yeah.
So they can make a run at something if they have those pieces, and the Pirates have prospects. So it becomes, do you value prospects or do you value your potential value of them next year where they won't take a dive? And in my opinion, as much as I don't want to see Luke Weaver go, I think Luke Weaver going might be better for the Mets than if he stayed on the roster for next year because you cannot predict that he might be good again. You have no idea if he will be good again. So that's the issue for me.
Yeah, I mean, on that Luke Weaver point, like the World Series one with the Yankees, I mean, he was lights out, like sort of in the same way he's been for the Mets over the last month or so. And then the season after, I mean, not fell off a cliff, but, took a very steady incline downward.
Took a detour.
Yeah.
Took a detour.
and like
straight down.
I mean, he went from, potentially being and getting paid like a closer to having to go to the Mets on a 2-year, I mean, not a prove-it deal, but a deal where, maybe he thinks he could have gotten a little bit more out of that. Emma, like, who do you see? We've heard Kurt's extensive thoughts, but
the
who do you want to see go and who do you
machinations
not
of my
want to see
mind.
go?
I hate, like, I just need the trade deadline to be here because I hate all the what ifs. I don't like it. I don't like speculation. I like to know things. I will say I think obviously not a hot take. Freddie Peralta is not going to be here. obviously.
Scratch from yesterday's game.
Scratch from yesterday's game. Like, he's not going to be here.
Yeah.
It's funny because Lindor was talking about, he was like in the clubhouse last night, he was like, he's still my teammate. Like, he was talking about Freddie Peralta. He was like, he's still my teammate. I don't know what's going to happen, but right now he's still my teammate. Which I just think is funny. I thought that all of the Lindor conversations were ridiculous. Like, I was like, there's just no way. I don't think. I do think that there comes a point where, there, like, a player does need to be traded or, let go. Like, but I just don't think Lindor's at that point. I think that fans are, I was saying the whole point about how, like, if a player has, like, like with these contracts, like, these contracts these days are massive, and like fans want, especially New York fans, want them to earn every cent of their contract. I feel like with Lindor, he has done so much for us that, yes, he is not doing well this season, but you can't just dismiss all of the things he's done and what he has been. I don't think you could just dismiss
He's
that.
been a lot better since he's come back recently. Exactly.
And like, I'm like, he hit a homer last night, and like, yes, it was unfortunate that there was nobody else on base at the time, so it was only a single run homer, but he hit a homer last night, and like, the other Thursday, one of them I'm pretty sure was an RBI from him. Like, one of the runs that they got was an RBI from him. Like, he is trying, and he is doing things. He is like, he is also in, again, we were talking about all the speculation with the clubhouse drama between him and Soto. I think that it's like, with him, you need to kind of think about, he also he does act as like a glue as well. Like, even though he and Soto might have this discourse, and I'm not going to speculate on that, he does provide support for his teammates, and like, he is there for them. He is a big force in that. Like, he's a massive force in that clubhouse. Like, you can't just trade him away, I fear. Like, just because he's been a little iffy this season. Like,
I mean, are the rumors that the Soto Lindor relationship is too toxic, like just too
not even that, but a lot of fans were just like, "Oh, he's gonna be traded away. He's gonna be traded away." And I'm like, even like SNY.
His contract's also way too big.
Yeah,
his contract's huge.
His contract's massive. Like, you can't just he's just.
A team has to be willing to have a massive undertaking to get a Lindor's contract on their roster.
Literally. So I feel like, anyway, my whole point with that was to say, because you asked me like who do I think is going, who do I want to stay?
Yeah.
That those were my two,
Okay.
where I was like, this one's going. This is the one where I think it's ridiculous that people are even still
Okay.
talking about this.
ESPN, they put out an article that Lindor might be heading to the Yankees.
They would like that, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't envision also the Mets trading their biggest rival.
Yeah,
I also.
not. I mean, it'd have to
I
be.
mean,
an absolute
not that
haul, I
if
would
it was
say.
a trade, not that Lindor would really have a say in anything, but Lindor would hate being on the Yankees. Like, that is I feel like that's a Queens man. Like, that is a
Smiling all the
Queens
time.
Man.
The Yankees just so sad. So
That is kind of how that is the Yankee way. So
yeah.
Well, we've talked a little bit about the Mets, trading some pieces, but we'll talk about the greater trade landscape after this break. We'll talk the MLB trade deadline coming up on Monday. After this break, do not go anywhere. You're listening to One on One.
It's WFUV New York, public media from Fordham University, home of first listens and classic favorites. On air, online, or wherever you listen to radio.
Welcome back inside One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. Of course, if you want to chime in about the MLB trade deadline or any of our upcoming segments, the number is 718-817-2750. We'd be happy to have you on. Regardless of your takes or your affiliation, please come join us in this conversation. I mean, if you have multiple teams, like some people in this room.
Not a real thing.
Yes, it is. We're not getting it.
We don't have to get it. We don't have to get it. We don't have to rage bait people. It's all right. It's all right. Okay. The number one trade candidate on everyone's mind, it's got to be Tarek Skubal. I mean, he's on the front page of the sports section.
As Kurt said, the Skubal of it all.
It is the Skubal of it
all
all.
in play. That's quite clever.
It is.
But Tarek Skubal probably easily the best pitcher in baseball.
That's quite clever. That's just like took me out.
They've really outdone themselves with that one. Skubal, best pitcher in baseball when he's healthy. He struggled with some health issues this season, but I mean last season, easily the most dominant pitcher in the AL. Debate whether it's him or Paul Skeens in overall baseball, but it looks like he's on the trade deadline. The Detroit Tigers not doing so hot. They're 6 games under 500. They're 4th in the AL Central. It's been a very weak division. But where is Skubal going to go? Obviously, the big names are the Dodgers, the Braves, the Brewers even, the Cubs, the Phillies, and the Rays, quite surprisingly, are also in the mix for him. You'd imagine that the Dodgers are the front runner. But where do we think Skubal's going to end up? By Monday at 6 p.m. That's the trade deadline.
See, that's a difficult question because there's a lot of teams that are in the mix for him.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers, even like how John Heyman put it in the post, is that they have a lot of the top 100 prospects in the MLB in their system, and they could go to Detroit, and Detroit likes to have their prospects and build around the potential of bringing their farm system up. But there's so many teams vying for him that it might become very difficult for them to be that team to go and get him unless they're going to be willing to throw a huge package together for him. Don't get me wrong, Skubal is somebody to go and get, especially if the package is correct. But it's only a rental for Skubal.
Yeah.
Because you have to be willing to re-sign him for the money that he wants. And when it comes to pitchers and the money that they want, it can be very difficult to want to pay a pitcher $300 million or something like that because the potential of injury with a pitcher is so massive and the potential of inconsistencies with a pitcher of his scale can also be so big that there is so much wiggle room in what can happen with Tarek Skubal. He's going to be traded to a competitor. If not, he might be traded to just nobody and the Tigers will hold on to him and lose him at the end of the season. But if it's in their best interest to go and get somebody for him, I think the Dodgers aren't a bad team to go look for. I think the Yankees might be a dark horse in the situation for him if they don't go out and try to go all in on a catcher, which I think would be more of the need than a pitcher of Skubal's scale because they already have a great pitching staff that is pretty nails in a 7-game series. I would feel like that you wouldn't need him. I think it would be the Dodgers. The Brewers, I think, are another good team that could go out and get him because of how much he would add with Jacob Mizorowski. Both of them pitching side by side would be a deadly 1 and 2 guy.
Yeah.
But yet again, it's all about the prospects that you might be giving up. And the ESPN has the Tigers trading Tarek Skubal to the Atlanta Braves, which would be a great move for them, especially just because of their staff that they already have and their run that they've been making this season and being a very good. Bobby back there laughing about something. I'm not sure about it. I think he's trying to talk about the Mets or something. I don't think that's agreeing with me, Sam. The look I'm getting right now. The look I'm getting. Right. Yeah, but the Braves would be a great contention for the Tarek Skubal of it all. I feel like, especially if they want to make a run for the postseason, make a run for the World Series, and compete with the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are a machine, and there doesn't seem like there is an opportunity to really compete with that team on either side of the coin.
Yeah, I think when you think about long-term picture for Skubal, you think he's probably gonna end up signing with either the Dodgers or the Yankees just in free agency. I don't know, or I guess the Mets could.
I was giving you that look because I wasn't. The Mets can definitely go sign Skubal.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just a matter of how much are you willing to pay that guy. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to see the Dodgers go, give a lot of prospects for him, knowing that at the end of the season they're probably going to end up with him, and they probably don't need him. I don't know how much Skubal moves the needle for the Dodgers. They become heavy favorites to gargantuan favorites. I mean, I don't really know how much adding Skubal to that pitching staff adds for the Dodgers.
Blake
Obviously,
Snell
he's a great.
And Tyler Glass now have both been injured, and Shohei Ohtani is off the mound for the entire year with his knee injury, or maybe not the entire year, but till further notice. So that's kind of an issue for the Dodgers because they don't have their whole staff right now with them. So there might be a nervous push the chips all into the table for their third World Series.
That's true. I do think the Brewers probably need him a little bit more. This is a Brewers team that is probably in the best position they've ever been to contend for a World Series. Maybe last year was also one of those years for them, and they were a bit conservative at the trade deadline, and it just didn't end up working out for them. So you think maybe this time they choose to be a little bit more aggressive. I don't really know what their farm system's looking at, and you do worry if they decide to go bar for bar, so to speak, with the Dodgers, how I don't see a way the Brewers can outmatch or outdo a Dodgers offer when both teams are heavily vying for Skubal.
Yeah. ESPN, we're talking about ESPN. ESPN is, saying, let's be honest, nobody wants to see Skubal end up with the Dodgers, and I really agree with that. And I do feel like, he's gonna end up there at some point, and that sucks because I just hate it when there's one team that has all of these their entire lineup is stacked. Because what I'm saying,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I did just make the argument where you need to have a well-rounded lineup, but I hate it when it's just one team is just dominating because then it's not fun to watch. It's
yeah,
you're just watching one team and the rest is
The Brewers do have the best prospect in baseball, Jesus Made. He's the number one prospect in the MLB at the moment, and that's a guy that you have to be willing to trade if you want to go all in on a Skubal kind of guy. He's a shortstop. Actually, the top three prospects in the MLB are all shortstops, funny enough. But he is a shortstop, and that is a position that is always kind of in need for a lot of the teams that would be trading for, especially for the Tigers. So that's when it becomes kind of difficult to know if they might go and try to get some of the biggest names from the people from these farm systems, because Kevin McGonigal is their shortstop of the future at the moment, so they might not need someone like that.
That's fair. Okay, if you had to choose one team right now where Skubal ends up, gun to your head, if you will, who are you picking?
As much as I don't want to see it, it might be Atlanta. I think Atlanta, as a Mets fan, you don't really want to see Atlanta improve, but they have the best. In my opinion, they might have the best trade pieces for them. Yeah. They might not have the best farm system in the MLB, but they have good pieces so that they could potentially trade for Skubal, improve their bullpen, improve their starting, and then they really could compete with the Dodgers. Because I think that lineup, while the Dodgers are a death mill, I think the Braves are kind of a very. I think they're a dark horse when it comes to the competition in the MLB.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually say the same thing. Normally we try to offer different opinions, but I have the same opinion. I think that again, as Kurt said, as a Mets fan, that's just not what you want to see. But I also don't want to see the Dodgers win another World Series, even though they probably will.
Get ready to watch that in October. So,
well, I won't be watching that in October. I'll be watching hockey because then finally hockey will be back, and I'll be freed from my Mets prison. But
My Mets-sized prison.
my Mets said, my Mets-sized prison. It's a massive prison. Yeah, but Braves. I'm gonna say Braves too.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I'll switch it up a bit. I'm gonna go Rays. I think it's an outside chance, but I think they have a deep enough farm system, and as we've talked about,
They also have deep enough pockets.
yeah, and as we've talked about, it during the Yankees segment, the AL is completely wide open, and I don't think, I think the Rays would be a little bit more desperate to add Skubal, because like you think that's what they need. They've lost a couple starting pitchers to injuries. You wonder when they're coming back, and I think that this Rays lineup with Skubal is a serious threat in a way that, you know, maybe they're being disrespected a little bit right now, not being a contender. But I think I'll go with the Tampa Bay Rays. In all likelihood, he's going to end up on the Dodgers, but let's pray that doesn't happen. But we'll move on to some other names. There's a lot of trade candidates, but they've got some outside chances. So we'll go through a list of sort of the top 10 guys, and I'll ask you whether they get traded or not. And if they do get traded, where do they end up? The first name, the second name on ESPN's top trade candidates list is Mason Miller, who the Padres gave up a haul for, the number one prospect in baseball last year. But the Padres, after starting the year pretty strongly, have really fallen off. So does Mason Miller end up on the trade block and move into a different team outside of San Diego?
Mason Miller is someone that has been pretty impeccable for all of the teams that he's pitched for this season. He currently has a, let me make sure I'm correct on his ERA. He has an under 1 ERA. He's pitching .79 ERA at the moment. So he has been incredible in his starts. He's pitched great games. He's pitched very good. He's 3-1 on the season so far. He's someone that you can give up a lot of prospects for and a good amount for your team for. Don't get me wrong, does San Diego want to trade someone like Mason Miller because they gave up the haul for him in general? But you can get a lot back from him, and that's someone, again, that the Yankees were there was a lot of movement from him with the Yankees and everybody else like that. So I don't think that he gets traded at this point in the season. But if someone like Skubal gets taken off the market, he's the next best option, in my opinion, for pitchers, and I think that they would go after him. So let's say the Rays might not get him, but they might go get Mason Miller.
Okay, I like that.
I just think that, like, it would take a massive amount for, like, Mason Miller to be traded. So, like, it would have to be, it would have to be insane. I think that he'll stay with the Padres.
Yeah, I agree. After giving up your number one prospect, the number one prospect in all of baseball for him, and he's only gotten better since you've acquired him, I really don't see a way, unless they're just completely blown away. I can't even envision a package in which the Padres maybe move him. I mean, obviously their place in the standings suggests that, you know, they'd be open to calls and to offers.
Yeah.
You think maybe there's just not an offer good enough. They'd have to get an offer they can't refuse. You know, to quote The Godfather. The next name on the list, C.J. Abrams, the shortstop from the Nationals.
Oh, C.J. As a D.C. native, this one's kind of like a... Why are you... did you just scoff at me?
Being a D.C. native, yes.
Sorry that I'm not from a state. Like, sorry. No, I just, like, it would be really sad to see him go. And I think it would take, like, a lot for him to be traded. I think that, you know, maybe not as, like, massive of an offer as, you know, like someone like Miller, but I think that, like, it would still take a lot for him.
CJ does have real aura. Sad to say, but he does.
He
wears
really
that alien chain around.
He really does.
Pretty cool
have
guy.
aura.
But I think that he could be someone that gets traded. The Nationals not really super competitive constantly, and are always looking for pieces to kind of rebuild through their farm system where they don't have to pay guys a lot of money. C.J. Abrams is one of those guys that are going to need money, a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they might not be willing to pay him for that. Will they? I think so, because he's such a big piece. If they get enough for him, I think the trade would be good for him.
Yeah.
And he's someone that can add such a he's someone that adds a bat to an explosive bat to a lineup. His slugging has been great this season. His batting average is .290. I mean, his splits are just really good this season. So he is someone that if you were going to trade him at his peak right now, another second-time All-Star, this is the time to trade him. If you were the Nationals, and I think it would be now.
Okay. Do you think they do move on from him?
It could happen.
Okay.
I'm not going to say for sure that it could happen, but I keep saying the Yankees, but it's another person that can be that backup for the Yankees when Aaron Judge is in the lineup to have another big bat with Aaron Judge, and he would fit New York, I think, pretty heavily. I will say DC does have the best license plates in the game, though.
I really don't know enough about license plates to disagree with that one.
They have the end taxation without representation.
Ooh,
license
okay.
plates.
Okay.
Funnily enough, my mom and I, when we were in South Carolina last week for my birthday, we went to park at a restaurant, and the parking lot that was like nearby was, you enter in on like a website your license plate, and then you enter in your credit card information to pay for it. They didn't have DC listed as a state.
I mean,
or not a state, but they didn't have DC listed as an option for license plates. So my mom had
tragic.
to literally call the place and be like, "Please don't tow our car." I put it under Maryland on the website because she couldn't put it in DC. Anyway, fun fact. But yes,
choose Maryland over Virginia.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I was born in Bethesda, Maryland. So
I guess it comes first in the DMV. So
yeah, it does. It does. It's DC and then Maryland and then Virginia. Nobody.
So I guess you got to keep. Maryland.
Nobody likes Virginia. Anyway,
going rapid fire with these last few names. Zach Neto from the Angels, another shortstop, having a pretty good year. A lot better defensively than C.J. Abrams is. Do we think he gets moved on?
The Angels aren't going to be competitive. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think yeah.
He's also really young, so.
Yeah. That's true. He's got 3 more years of control after this season. Some names being thrown around with him are the Red Sox, the Braves, the Blue Jays, the Twins, and of course the Yankees. Jeremy Pena from the Astros, a team that is leading their division, but maybe not as dominant as they would like.
That's why I was going to say no, because they could still make a run at it.
Okay. He stays on.
Yeah.
Hunter Goodman with the Rockies, he's been associated with the Yankees, but like you said, he's an all-star. They're going to have to give up a lot for him.
Only if it's a big enough package.
Yeah, I think it would have to be a massive package. Like, it would have to be crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Luis Arise, second baseman from the Giants. Feel like he's going to be moved on, but to where?
That's the hard part with him, because I definitely think he's going to be moved on from.
I'm looking at the ESPN best fits list, and they have 8 teams on there. So he really could go anywhere.
He can go anywhere.
He's not versatile, but he could plug into any lineup and upgrade that lineup. I mean,
could it be the Rays again?
That's what I'm thinking. I see the Nationals on there, Dodgers, Yankees. I don't think
it's not the Dodgers. I do think that the Rays might be the best fit for him to add more of a bat to their lineup.
I think maybe the White Sox could be thrown out. They're looking to be buyers at the deadline.
They can also make a run at this. So
yeah, very true. Clay Holmes.
Yes, he gets traded.
Yes, but where?
Yes, I think Cubs.
He could get traded to the Cubs. I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
He can get traded.
You wouldn't have to stop rooting for him then.
Stop. Okay.
You wouldn't have to stop rooting for Clay Holmes.
Okay, stop. That's not. We had a whole conversation, pre-show where we were like, "Can you be a fan of multiple teams in one sport?" I said only under special circumstances, and even then, there has to be a hierarchy of who you ultimately root for. The only sport where I really have this situation is in baseball. The Mets, obviously, are the team that I have chosen to root for, but the Cubs will always hold a special place in my heart just because I went to Wrigley Field when I was 5 weeks old. The first thing I was put in as a baby swaddled in the hospital was a Cubs hat. So, so that's why, Kurt is making fun of me. But I don't watch the Cubs on the rag.
On the rag.
On the rag.
Short for regular for our audio listeners.
And one last name, another Met, Freddie Peralta.
Yes.
Where does he end
I think
up?
he goes back to the Brewers. Just 'cause
Yeah.
I like
It'd be
that.
really funny for him to be
Yeah.
back on the Brewers. It's so
Yeah.
stupid to trade him in the first place if you're just going to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Scooble's the main name. We've spent about 12 minutes talking about him. The rest of them, I think there's a lot of interesting and intriguing pieces. The question is whether the teams that have them feel like they're in a position to make a run at the playoffs. The NL's bunched up pretty heavily. Like the Reds are the 4th worst team in the NL, but they're only 4.5 games out of the wild card spot, and the AL is just, I mean, who knows what's going on there? Just so bad. But you feel like if a team starts clicking, then good things could happen. But the baseball won't stop there. Kurt, who's been joining us, who's kindly joined us, was at Cooperstown. Tucker Austin was there. Alex Diaz, Grace McCarron was there. So we're going to play a little bit of a Hall of Fame recap video from Cooperstown. I hope you all enjoy. We'll be back with some more Live on One after this video. Do not go anywhere.
.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We cover the latest news in the sports world with our wide range of beat reporters, as well as exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes. We'll see you next Saturday on One on One.
Hey Yankees fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Thursday, August 27th, when the Yankees host the Astros for a very special night in the Bronx, Seinfeld Night. The first 18,000 guests will receive a George Costanza Calzone bobblehead, presented by Star. Tickets are on sale now at Yankees.com/tickets. Don't miss Seinfeld Night and the George Costanza Calzone bobblehead, Thursday, August 27th. Yankees versus Astros at Yankee Stadium.
Tucker Austin here for WFUV Sports, joined by Kurt Sipple, Grace McCarron, and Alex Diaz from the site of the 2026 Major League Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It just wrapped up about an hour ago. We stayed for some of the press conferences for the 3 inductees, Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran, and Jeff Kent. And what an incredible weekend it was. This will be our recap of the weekend as a whole, starting on Thursday with the drive up. That was a blast, just getting to kind of shoot the breeze with you guys a little bit, just talking away, made that ride really, really short, and saw the first and second floor of the Hall of Fame. Didn't see the third floor until a couple of days later, but the first thing I'll ask you guys is, what was your favorite part about the Hall of Fame? A couple of first-timers at Cooperstown, I believe Kurt and Grace, right? Or Kurt, Alex? Yes, you've been here before. You guys have both been here. Just Kurt. Kurt, I'll ask you first then. What was your favorite part of the Hall of Fame?
Well, I think my favorite part of the Hall of Fame had to be the plaques. I've never been to the Hall of Fame. I've only seen it on footage and seen it when I'm watching this on MLB Network, the inductions. And I think it was like a magical experience to just see the plaques and walk into that place and just feel I think Jeff Kent said that he felt the weight of it. You do feel the weight of those plaques, and you feel the weight of people that my family has talked about for years, talking about the players that played in the MLB and the legends that graced the game. And to see that, and to see what it was like to be there, and really, and see even the signed backs of the plaques for the guys getting inducted for today, it was a magical experience. It kind of completes your baseball fandom in a way, because it's a full 360 moment. You go to your first game, I've reported on games at this point. Now that I've gotten to see the Hall of Fame and be here for it, it really feels like I've done everything there could be to do for it, and it just has felt so magical to do that and be here with you guys.
Yeah, same for me. I would say, not to play copycat here, but the plaques are without a doubt the best part of the Hall of Fame, but I'll take a different direction. There's a new exhibit. It's a little small case all about Tom Seaver, who's my dad's favorite player, so I really liked getting to see more about him. Obviously, he was not around to see him play, and he passed a few years ago, so he hasn't come here anymore, obviously, but so we don't get that part of it from him, but it was very cool to see more of the history. As a Mets fan, you hear all about him. They treat him like God there, of course. So it was very interesting to see that. It was very cool, as Kurt was saying, to see the plaques as well in the Hall of Fame, going around, seeing all the guys that my dad always talks about as well, sending him the pictures. So yeah, I love every part of the Hall of Fame, but obviously the plaques are kind of the most renowned and, in my opinion, the best.
Yeah, I mean, last time I was here, there wasn't really an environment like this. It wasn't for an induction, anything like that. So getting to come back this year for the induction, I think the biggest difference is like the energy that people bring here, especially the Hall of Famers themselves, of course, but just getting to be surrounded by people that care so much about this game. I know the four of us do immensely. We talk about it all the time, but getting to be in an environment where people 100% care about this game. They care about the people getting inducted, the people who have been inducted. It's just a great environment to be in and a great experience.
And for me, this is my first time here in almost 10 years, if not 10 years on the nose. And the last time I was here, they didn't have nearly as fleshed out of an international section in the Hall of Fame. I thought it was really cool to see what they've done for the WBC. There's a lot of artifacts in there from that tournament, and also the exchange of baseball culture between the United States and Japan, and just the full history of those two baseball nations. I think we can safely say now. The history between the two of them, the history of the game, and I think we saw it play through in this Hall of Fame induction weekend, because Andrew Jones played a couple of years in Japan at the end of his career, and he mentioned that in his speech and at the press conference later on. Eventually wound up playing with a future Yankee at the time, Masahiro Tanaka. I thought that was a pretty fun fact for me, at least as a Yankee fan, to learn. But yeah, that was what we did on Thursday. Moving to Friday, that was our interviews day. We got all of our content with Hall of Famers who were available. Big shout out to Hall of Fame signings in Cooperstown, who gave us the opportunity to talk with some of their Hall of Famers that they had signing autographs. We got to talk to them a little bit after they were done signing. Guys like Wade Boggs, Juan Marichal, Jim Rice, Chipper Jones, CeCe Sabathia. Also earlier in the day on Friday, we were at Doubleday Field for Ozzie Smith's Turn 2 event, where we got to talk to Ozzie and Robin Yount. So my second question to you guys is, what was your favorite interview from Friday?
You want me to start? Wow. Robin Yount was really cool, kind of larger than life, and he was just like a normal guy. He was telling Bobby behind the camera about his luggage issues on the way to Cooperstown from Albany. That was interesting, but the Juan Marichal one was really cool. I got to ask about his famous leg kick, and he gave the entire backstory, and that was kind of an unbelievable experience. It's the Dominican dandy in front of you telling you about the leg kick in very detail about the history and how it came to be, and it was very cool. They were all fantastic though. I really can't pick a favorite. I loved talking to Chipper Jones, another larger than life guy who, in Mets fans' minds, punished the Mets for years, and he's just this lovely man shaking our hands, asking us how we were doing too. So it was all great, but I would say probably Robin and Juan Marichal were my favorite.
I think Juan Marichal had to be my favorite. I think that might be our answer, all of our answers, because Juan Marichal really took the time and sat with us, and he just discussed his career, and he felt like he was just really happy to talk to us about his career. And it was cool to see a baseball legend like that, a larger-than-life character, someone that came to the United States, one of the first Dominican players to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, one of the first Dominican players to play baseball in the major leagues. I think that was something so incredible to see such a character like him be here and just wanting to talk to us and people that didn't see his career at all. If we wanted to see his career, when we look it up on YouTube, and him just taking the time to talk to us was just so incredible and so magical to hear his stories. I was so entrenched in his story. If you go back and watch that interview that we had with him, I was smiling from ear to ear and just completely locked on him, because it was just like listening to your grandfather. I think Alex was talking about that. It's like listening to your grandfather say his stories from his youth and past. But this is Juan Marichal, one of the legends and Dominican dandy.
Yeah, I think right with you, Juan Marichal. I kind of said it's like, the stereotypical like Hispanic grandpa that wants to tell you all about what he did. He's gonna sit down, he's gonna have you come close and tell you all about it. That was a great interview. I think Jim Rice was cool too. He was really intimidating at first, but he was very passionate about what he had to say, telling us about the changes in batting and stuff like that from when he played today. So that was cool too. And I think all the interviews we got, the people were really nice and they wanted to talk to us, and I think that made them better.
Yeah, all of the guys that we managed to interview, super responsive to all of our questions. I think my favorite, and I'm probably a little biased, would probably be CC Sabathia, just because of like what he meant throughout my entire childhood, getting to watch him as a young Yankee fan, then watching him get inducted last year, and getting the opportunity to be here and to see him at this event, let alone ask him a question or two. It was just really incredible. So I'll go with CC Sabathia. After Friday, we moved on to Saturday, which is when we had the pre-induction ceremony press conferences for the Hall of Fame. All three inductees were available, in addition to Joe Buck, who was awarded with the Frick Award this year, and Paul Hoynes, who received the BBWA Career Excellence Award. Both of those guys were available. I thought a lot of what Joe Buck said was really cool to hear. Then we moved back into downtown after those press conferences. Bobby C behind the camera met up with Shane Spencer, the home run dispenser, one of Bobby's favorite players from his time earlier on as a Yankee fan. And we found a lot of sports memorabilia, and I mean from every sport you can imagine. We found a signed Secretariat photo from the jockey who signed it. Signed Will Cooley jersey. Shout out to Lydia Perner. She would have loved to see that. But that being said, I wanted to ask you guys, what was a favorite or a coolest piece of memorabilia that you have stumbled across in downtown Cooperstown this week?
Well, I could start. I mean, it has to go with my Kansas City Monarchs jersey I bought that has Jackie Robinson on the back. I was very in between with multiple jerseys for this week. I didn't know what to buy. I consulted everyone in this group, and I also consulted my parents, called them on the phone a bunch. But I landed on that just because of the weight that it carries and how great Jackie Robinson and such a figure that he is to the game of baseball. Being from Brooklyn and Brooklyn Dodgers, I pass by the location of Ebbets Field almost all the time. So having that jersey, again, full circle moment for me. I feel like it's such a cool experience to get the opportunity to buy something like that that represents fandom of the game, but also someone that represents so much more than just baseball.
I have no idea. I would say I bought a Keith Hernandez jersey, which I'm very excited about. But I love to go into all the card shops and seeing all of the different stuff that they had. You got an AJ Ewing and Carson Bench rookie card. Big for us Mets fans. I got a Carlos Beltran card with a piece of game-worn jersey in it. That was cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I got my parents some cards. I got my grandma a Duke Snyder card. She's a Brooklyn Dodgers fan. So, yeah, seeing all of those, like every shop kind of does it differently. Some of them are just like in their little sleeves. Some of them are a little more like, standalone. But I loved seeing all of them.
Yeah, I'm not a big memorabilia person, but I think it was really cool to see so many stores here in Cooperstown that had different things. It wasn't walking into the store and you're saying, oh, I saw that picture, and the other store down the street. It's like so much unique stuff that I feel like you can only find in Cooperstown, but it makes sense. It's a baseball person's like heaven, so everything here is tailored to that. So I think getting to see that in each store and getting to see so many jerseys that we don't normally see here, it's just been a really cool experience.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things I saw, I mean, it was incredibly expensive listing, but it was a collection of the 5 World Series that Derek Jeter won. It was the ticket stubs from those 5 World Series all displayed in the same case. That was just really cool to see. I'm a big fan of physical tickets and ticket stubs. I hate that it's gone digital now, but we have a ticket stub from today that I'll definitely be cherishing. End of the day, Saturday, I think one of the most fun parts of the whole weekend was the parade down Main Street with all of those Hall of Famers on the back of those pickup trucks. Johnny Bench playing the crowd. It was so unbelievable. And shout out to Brian Kenny too for putting you did a great job as the MC at the parade and as the Master of Ceremonies today at the induction ceremony. And yeah, that brings us to Sunday, the induction ceremony itself, which, as I mentioned, just wrapped up about an hour ago. 60 Hall of Famers in attendance for this ceremony, a record, the most ever in attendance, 60 living Hall of Famers. Unbelievable to have that many sitting there behind that podium. Also, the longest tenured living Hall of Famer in attendance, Sandy Koufax. That was unbelievable to see. He got a standing ovation. Was one of the first guys that they brought out. Wade Boggs came out with a very goofy baseball tie that I enjoyed. Raleigh Fingers, 34th consecutive appearance here at the induction ceremony. He's chasing the record. It's 38. It's got 4 years to go. And Raleigh Fingers' granddaughter was also here to perform the national anthem. I saw she did a great job. Had the in memoriam section too. We had 3 Hall of Famers in the last year who passed away. Class of 2005, Ryan Sandberg. Class of 01, Bill Mazeroski. And class of 2014, Bobby Cox. Thought that was a nice tribute as well to those 3. And Bobby Cox was mentioned in Andrew Jones's speech as well. He called him a second father. So a lot of emotions there. But specifically, let's get to the speeches. Jeff Kent, Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran. If you guys had to pick one that was your favorite, what was it? And then maybe a couple of reasons why.
I think Jeff Kent's speech was probably my favorite speech, and that might be everyone's answer for today. The speeches felt they were good this year, but they all felt very like, thank you for being here kind of thing. And yet, it's still magical to be at the Hall of Fame and see the speeches. But I felt like Jeff Kent's speech, the stories that he told, talking about how he got into baseball, his dad promising him a truck if he got a college scholarship. I thought that was pretty funny, talking about just how baseball is able to unite people and also bring people out of maybe their situations and get a better life. I think that's what Jeff Kent was really trying to encompass when he was talking about that, was that baseball was his way out, and baseball was his way to get to a better place in his life and become a Hall of Famer and become just what he is now. And even after, when he was talking about it and how he softened up through the years, Jeff Kent was known for being a very hard-nosed baseball player for almost his entire career. But talking about just how he softened up through the years, talking about his family, being unable to avoid the media about this stuff anymore because it's the Hall of Fame. I think Jeff Kent really had the most emotion when he was talking about it. And don't get me wrong, everyone else was also very good, Andrew Jones and everyone else, but it just was, I felt Jeff Kent was just the best for today.
I'm a little biased. I'm going to go with Carlos Beltran. First of all, there's a huge contingent of Puerto Rico fans here, which I thought was very cool. They were very vocal, like singing, dancing between speeches before the ceremony. I thought that was very cool. So when he came out, it was a big, almost felt like a party for Carlos Beltran, which was very cool. But in his speech, and again, it's my bias coming through, but he talked about how proud he is to be a Met. He's only the 3rd player to ever go into the Hall of Fame with a Mets cap, so he's part of a very select crowd with Tom Seaver and Mike Piazza. And yeah, he spent a lot of time in other places. He started his career in Kansas City, but he really took home the point that he is proud to be a Met. He's a Met forever. Even in the ups and downs, you remember what happened in the NLCS, but he's proud to be a Met. He takes that very seriously, and I think the organization, again, through the ups and downs, they love him too.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I think Andrew Jones, his speech I think was a really good touch, because being the first person from Curacao to be inducted into the Hall of Fame is an incredible honor for him. And I think the fact that he was able to sit there and say, these are the players that have come after me, these are who've come before me, and I'm the one who's getting to be here. And Andrew Jones is just a person that's put so much into baseball, especially in Curacao, in the Caribbean, all of those places. So for him to get to be here and to share that honor with the people there, it's just a great experience for him too. And I think the fact that he's able to speak in his native language to the people back home, to people that were here, just adds that special touch for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say Jeff Kent, probably my favorite speech, just because of the way that he sort of managed to tap into what the game of baseball means to baseball fans and to players and to pretty much anyone who happens to flip on a game. Like this sport is so special, and all the people here love it so dearly. And I think Jeff Kent was kind of explaining that he didn't quite understand that until he got to the hall finally and saw that room with all the plaques. And he told us in the press conference afterwards that he had changed the wording of his speech. He said he was humbled by that experience, but originally the writing said that he felt small because of the weight of all of baseball history in that room kind of weighing him down. And I absolutely agree with him. I think you get that same feeling even if you're not a player who's about to be inducted into that same Hall of Fame. You can still feel all of that weight on you. And I thought Andrew Jones's speech was also really cool. It's a huge achievement not only for him but also for the entire island of Curacao. And I thought his tribute to his dad was also especially touching as well. And to Bobby Cox, of course, mentioned already, called him his second father. So an emotional speech for Andrew Jones, to say the least, as well. And Beltran, I thought he played the Puerto Rican crowd so well. He pulled the little Puerto Rico flag out of his jacket. And it was cool to see George Brett showing him so much support as well. His first stop in Kansas City, George Brett with the Puerto Rico flag as well up there, I thought was a really cool way to show his support as well. So from three guys who generally weren't the most emotional or the loudest players on the field, maybe Andrew Jones being a little bit of an exception to that, but these are three guys who are just a lot quieter now in their post-career days, but still they delivered speeches that got the job done today, and it was a good experience for everyone. So with that being said, that pretty much wraps up our coverage here from Cooperstown. Do you guys have any final words before we fully wrap this thing up?
I think in taking stuff from Jeff Kent's speech of small things like can become big changes, I think that's something that we all have to think about, and I think that was a great way to kind of show that the smallest things that we do can make a big impact, and I think this is one small piece of our journey here.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I think one of the things that I thought was pretty cool was seeing Paul Hoynes and Joe Buck were inducted into the Hall of Fame, and looking at the media guys that were in the Hall of Fame, Vince Scully, one of those people, one of Fordham's very own, and it shows us what's possible with our careers in sports media. And that's where I really felt like it was feeling small, was when you're looking at the typewriters and the microphones of such of the greatest writers and broadcasters of a generation. And you strive to want to be like them one day, and you try to be like them one day. And being in that environment and being here today is just one step into that, but it really shows you what's possible when we can all one day be in the Hall of Fame and be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So that's something that really shows you to be encouraged by it, and it was really very cool to see that.
I think overwhelmingly positive across the board. What an incredible weekend. I think Jeff Kent, too, said it best. Baseball is in the greatest place it has ever been, and it's only going to get better. A really bright future for this game and for all of the fans and players. Thank you so much to the MLB Hall of Fame for putting on an incredible event over the course of this weekend. Thank you to the village of Cooperstown and the county of Otsego, New York, for being incredible hosts for us this weekend. Thank you to WFUV 90.7 FM for giving us the opportunity to come out here and bring this coverage to you. And for Bobby C, for Alex Diaz, for Grace McCarran, for Kurt Sipple, I've been Tucker Austin, reporting from Cooperstown and closing Hall of Fame induction weekend for WFUV Sports.
Hi, I'm Ashley Went, one of your hosts for FUVFC, WFUV's best, if not only podcast for all things soccer. From insight from beat reporters for all of New York soccer clubs to breakdowns of all the major leagues and events from the international pitch to right here in the States. Tune in weekly as we discuss all things soccer on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week on FUVFC, a product of WFUV.
Welcome back inside the Rose Hill studio. We're finally live again. I hope you all enjoyed that Hall of Fame recap video from Cooperstown. Thank you to Kurt for joining us for the baseball segments, as well as heading out to Ohio, to shoot some content and keep track of what was a pretty strong Hall of Fame class. But we welcome Sam back in the studio. And the topic of the segment right now, it's just LeBron-a-thon.
Is it the third one now?
It is the third one because
third consecutive LeBron-a-thon.
2 weeks ago, we were hypothesizing where LeBron could end up. There were about 6 teams that we all named, but in the end, it was Sam who was right after all.
The secret genius of the whole thing, really. If you remember that great source, I was the source. Just saying. I was going to put that.
That's crazy that you've planted that. But for anyone who's living under a rock, LeBron has taken his talents to Philadelphia. Quite a city, the city of brotherly love.
I like it a lot.
I hate Philadelphia.
Really?
Okay, an interesting thing about this LeBron thing, the news broke last week, but it's come out in the recent days that LeBron will be living in New York City and will be helicoptering.
That's crazy.
Down to Philadelphia, as if it feels a little bit disrespectful to.
Who wouldn't want to live in New York, though?
Who wouldn't want to live in New York?
Yeah, but then why wouldn't you?
Who would want to live in Philly?
Who would want to live in Philly?
Like,
sorry, I'm a D1 Philly hater. I
like
Philly.
Going there, but I would never live there. I don't think anyone wants.
I have
to
a
live
massive
there.
amount of hate for Philly.
As the city or the people?
I feel like both.
Well, no, but when I say the city, I mean
what is the city without its people?
Well, yeah, but I mean, do you like being at the city? Like, is it just annoying to walk around, just seeing a building tick you off a little? I kind of need
do the Rocky Steps just
it grinds my gears.
I feel
seeing people be motivated.
No, I actually feel like that. Okay, I feel like it comes from living in DC, and I feel like there have been so many times where, and I am not a fan of the Nats, but I'm not a Nats fan, but I there have been multiple times where I've gone with family to Nats games, and I feel like most of the Nats games I've been to are Nats Phillies games, and Nats fans hate the Phillies like
nobody's business.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think that's probably because just some bad blood in history and their history, but I just feel like their fans are kind of annoying. So it's not really that's why I'm saying that it's a combination of the people in the place, but I wouldn't say that it's all of the people, and I wouldn't say it's all of the place. Because some of Philadelphia I like. I actually used to row in high school. I love the Schuylkill River. I love the Schuylkill River in Philadelphia. It was my favorite river to race on. So I feel like it's a combination sometimes, but it mainly has to do with Philly sports, I will say. Outside of that, I don't hate Philly. I don't hate the people or anything like that.
It's the sports fans.
It's the sports and the sports fans.
But imagine being a Philly sports fan. There is probably one of the better. I'm trying to think if it's one of the better sports communities. There's a city of brotherly love. I'd say it's a tight knit community. But if you're on the other end of it, you hate it.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty divisive, I would say. I'm trying to think of a sports city fan base that is nearly as divisive as Philly is. Maybe Boston.
Yeah,
but I feel
Boston's up there.
I do feel like there's a lot of respect for Boston fan. I don't know. I'm just spitballing at this point.
I think you're talking a little too much there with that one, honest.
But yeah, I mean LeBron going to Philly. I can't say they were the front runners, but they were certainly in the upper echelon of teams he was rumored to go to. They acquired Jaylen Brown in a blockbuster trade deal with the Celtics earlier this season. They've been really busy, and you would think that they're strong contenders, if not the favorite to come out of the East. How much does this LeBron signing move the needle for the 76ers in your eyes in terms of Philly finally getting that title that they've been trusting the process for so long?
It has to be a mental game behind it, because he's not going to play the regular season. It's not going to be he's playing every game, or he's going to be if he is playing every game, it's not he's playing crazy amounts of minutes. He's going to be there to close those games probably and make cameos, because at this point he's not caring whatsoever about at least to me, I don't think he's caring about MVP awards. He can probably lose the minutes and get taken out of that, but for I would say if, because can't be so sure, but if they make the playoffs, then I think he's gonna. That's where he's coming in a lot to be opposite of like what happened with the Spurs, where they couldn't close games. It was a young squad. Having that experience and having someone who can control the court and make sure what like nothing's getting out of control. Like he'll be there for that, but like I think it's mostly being able to get a superstar of the caliber of LeBron and having someone of that stature in the team is what would push him over. And so, like what we were always saying, like behind the glass, like I'm scared if like Vinny Jr. goes to Arsenal, not because of what he would do there, but it means the team can sign big players. And even when LeBron retires, the Sixers might become a hot destination for big players.
Yeah, no, the getting LeBron was massive for Philly. Like that's just such a huge like swing for them, and I feel like I'm scared for what this means.
All of us are really scared.
All of us are scared. Not only because I feel like the celebrations in New York and all of the things that happened in New York after the Knicks won, was massive as well. And like, but I just feel like Philly, it would be like, I don't know. I'm scared. Like I'm scared of what would happen.
Okay, I think the reservation I have with this Phillies lineup is the lack of defense per se. Like Embiid,
it's a very attacking team.
Yeah, Embiid isn't a lockdown center. LeBron was at some point in his career a top 5 defensive player in the league. Now not so anymore. I mean he's 41. Like you can't expect that. Jaylen Brown, an above average defender. VJ Edgecombe, not really. I mean he was a rookie last season. He was incredible as a rookie, probably the 3rd best rookie in the league. Again, not known for his defense. And then Tyrese Maxey's, he's about 6 feet tall. So he really can't guard anyone like that. I mean, he's incredibly quick, but just does not, whether it's a mental thing or whether it's just a physical characteristics, holding him back. He's never going to be, an all defensive team, guard for this team. So that's where I'm a little bit worried about the 76ers team. Sure, you may not be able to stop them, but can they stop you? And I think that's the question mark around this Philly team.
Can they stop you?
Some like philosophical stuff right there. It's making me think a little.
Well, it's just like, like their offense is unstoppable force, but their defense is a movable object, right?
I mean, you're like enlightened right now. This is this is a philosophy class.
I've asked what is a city without its fans, without its people. A question I have since the segment is LeBron-a-thon. Is there any way LeBron hurts his legacy this season? He's playing in a season that no one's ever played before. It's his 20th season.
I thought it was like his 25th.
25th sounds a little bit more.
25th, something like that.
He's probably not expected to be. He's definitely not expected to be like a top 3 option on the team. It's his 24th season coming up. Is there any way that he damages his legacy this coming season?
I think the only way he does that, because not to bring it back to soccer, but it's what my brain goes to. No one is saying Ronaldo's legacy is getting hurt because he's also 41.
Yeah.
And he's playing in Saudi. I still think 3 goals at the World Cup was impressive by him, but no one seeing his World Cup performance was like, oh, like this hurts his legacy. Messi made it to the final, but looked like a clown, and I'll always say that he hurt his legacy no matter what.
But he's 39. Like how is that?
No, but that's the thing. It's not about the age. It's about what he did. If LeBron goes on the court and he's arguing, he's making a fool of himself. He is like what he's doing on the court as a person and not as a player. Okay. That's how he hurts himself. Because I think the world now, for the most part, a good amount, not saying everyone, but a good amount of people have turned on Messi. They saw what he did during the World Cup final, like that for a half second snitching to the ref, like that hurts legacy because it made people think, wow, he would do anything to win. That's not being like not actually playing well. So if even LeBron plays bad, I think what hurts him is how he is on the court as a person, not a player.
Okay, that's fair. So the play is largely irrelevant to LeBron's legacy.
Yeah, he's 41.
I mean, like if he completely falls off a cliff.
I mean, I think he just has such a massive amount of aura that like you can't even like.
He does.
There's like what do you even? How do you even?
He's just so cool.
Yeah, I think it's like, unless he, I mean, I disagree with the Messi losing favor. I mean, it's okay, but I agree with the sentiment that unless LeBron becomes this incredibly toxic person, like there's just no way that
if he looks like a scumbag, like people are gonna, at least some people turn on him.
But I mean, I just, considering how many pieces are around him, like, and considering his advanced age, like, if this team somehow fails or somehow falters or falls short of expectations, which in my eyes is at least a run to the NBA Finals, I don't think you can blame that on LeBron, considering
Definitely. It's not on him.
He's maybe the 5th best player on that team now at his age.
He's there to lead, but not on the I keep now I'm trying to do metaphors. Like he's there to lead, but not on the court. He's there to lead in the locker room. Like he's there to when it's halftime, if they're up, to be like, we can't let this slip through our fingers. Like we have to make sure we hold on to this.
Yeah,
that's what I see it as.
I think an issue with 76ers, I mean, it's hard to quantify this, but like an issue that they've just never had a veteran presence. Like Embiid, best player in that locker room for quite some time. Just from what I can tell, doesn't have that leadership gene, and LeBron clearly does. He's clearly respected around the league. And I think if this 76ers team falters for a second or slips up or something like that, LeBron, he's dealt with that for 23 seasons now. Like he knows what changes they'd have to make, or I mean, he's a pseudo coach at this point. I think is the best way to describe him. Like
he's getting close to his coaching era.
Do you think LeBron comes back as a coach? I mean, we're extrapolating pretty far out.
I don't know. I see him more as like what Tom Brady's doing now, where like they might have him where he'll like what a lot of players do, where they're like pundits, where they explain the mind of like what's going on. But I like how Tom Brady's doing it, where it's like really in depth. Like he's like you hear like what's going on through like Brady's mind. I see kind of like that, but I don't know. Maybe he does coach. Maybe he wants to be the best player coach in NBA history. Who knows?
I do foresee a pundit role in his future. I mean, he's already got a podcast with Steve Nash, I believe. So I think it's something that clearly interests him, and there's certainly a lot of money to be made. I think Tom Brady's making like $300 million or something like that from Fox. And like you said, like I think he's doing an incredible job, and LeBron obviously has that drive to continually improve that aspect. Like he treated like he was an athlete. I mean, maybe the only thing that would make me say that he wouldn't do it is that he's given so much to the game already. Like how much more can he give?
Yeah.
He needs to retire and have sit on a hill or something, like watch the sunrise.
Yeah, like Thanos.
No, he still needs to be a part of society. He can't just take his massive aura and go sit on a hill. Like,
what do you mean? He's given himself to the game. He needs LeBron time, whatever that might be.
I think LeBron time is time in the spotlight.
Okay, well, our LeBron time is coming to a close.
Oh my god, these segments are actually wild.
We're gonna take a step away for just a moment. We'll have soccer coming up, the off season. Well, some FIFA and some Fabrizio Romano drama coming up after this break. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to One on One.
Hey sports fans, it's Bobby C. I'm the sports director here at WFUV. From live broadcasts of Fordham Athletics to coverage of all the professional sports teams in the NYC, we've got everything a sports fan could ask for. Like talking sports? Check out One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in show, as well as our diverse collection of podcasts. If you're a Fordham student interested in joining our program, feel free to shoot me an email, bobbyc@wfuv.org. And as always, thank you to all of our listeners who support us every week. 90.7 FM is the home of WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Welcome back in. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in the Bronx. It's been pretty nice the last couple of days. We had a couple flash floods earlier this week, but we battled through those and we're back out on the other side. But now our conversation will shift to soccer. It's a bit of a dead period when it comes to sports. Baseball is the only sport that's actively being played right now. So we talked a lot about that. We talked about LeBron, probably the biggest move of NBA free agency, but now it's time to turn our sights onto the soccer pitch. And with the World Cup wrapping up, we're shifting our sights onto the club season, which I am both very excited for, but also a little bit apprehensive about because the World Cup was so magnificent.
Really
it was really good, and I'm a little scared I'm going to be disappointed in the end.
I feel like
be
the
let
opposite.
down.
I want it back so bad. Like I want to see club soccer back so bad. It's all I've been seeing like on my feed is just videos. It would be like a random game highlights. I'm like, oh, I need that back right now. Like the thing is though, because I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm only gonna get to see them play once a week. No more. At least like what two a week with UCL nights. But even then, I still watch like almost every always. Once, especially if it's knockouts, but even the group stage game, like if it's any team I somewhat care for, I'm turning it on. Like it's just having like a sport on. Like I don't. That might just be a me thing, but like I need sports on the TV. Like if it's not like that might be a little brain rot for me.
No,
I can't lie. But I need sports on.
That's not brain rot at all. Like I promise you,
I need it on.
It's
like, my attention span's
like
low key bad.
I
don't have it.
love hockey so much. Sorry, I know we're talking about soccer.
I
know we're talking about soccer,
Get it off your chest.
but hockey is the same way for me. I need it. I was telling Kurt before this. I also work at the Ram, and when I'm working late at night, I have it on my computer next to my big desktop computer.
I need it on so
and I'm just
bad.
listening, and I'm like occasionally looking over. I need it back. Sam has recently gotten me into soccer. So that's been
so influential.
Have you settled on a team yet?
Influential.
I was
Oh,
thinking of that.
no. So I feel very much like teams have to be like either like via family or they have to be like sentimental for some reason.
fair enough.
You can't just pick a team.
Yeah,
I don't think.
True.
I mean, yeah.
Unless you're like a child and you're just picking a
Okay,
random team.
that's
like
That's
picking your
I would
first, like,
say. But I feel like
Pokemon.
at my grown age, like I can't just pick a team. Like it has to mean something.
I'm trying to think what happens now, like for new fans, like who don't pick a team. Is it just gonna come naturally, you're just gonna settle on a team at one point, or just making like
Yeah.
neutral forever?
Do you guys want to play a little game? Do you guys want to
we can.
guess?
Yeah, sure.
Real
Okay.
Madrid.
It's I will say Champions League.
Real Madrid.
No.
Oh, don't.
PSG.
No.
Wait, you're
No.
saying like
Wait,
you don't know.
Hold on.
Wait, now I'm curious. Do you know the team?
Do I need to say the full government name?
Paris Saint-Germain?
Wait, I'm making sure. Okay, no. Okay, I'm right. Okay.
So it's not PSG.
So it's not
It's also Premier League.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry, that's I
Interesting.
meant to say Premier League instead of Champions League.
Manchester
and
United.
it falls under the
Is it United?
No.
Oh,
Manchester City.
please no, please.
Wait, it is Man United.
Oh, okay. I respect that so much.
Sorry.
I actually
Sorry.
like United fans a lot. I respect United
yes,
a lot.
My
What's the sentimental story
my
behind that?
mom's partner is a Man United fan.
Oh,
And it's like the
okay,
only
that's- yeah.
it's like
They
kind
can
of like
teach
the
you
only
that.
sport. The only sport
There we
he like
go,
really
okay.
he really watches because he's British.
Oh, there it is.
All comes out.
Soccer and Man United, and he said if I become a Man United fan, then he'll become a Caps fan.
Look at that.
That's quite a deal.
bonding.
That's quite a
So, so shout out John.
I respect that a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, that's like a good way to get into a sport.
No, for sure.
I mean, we were talking about trades earlier. That's a great trade.
It's a
I mean,
great
I'm proud of
trade.
you.
It's a good trade off.
Okay, so
I respect United fans.
So we've got a
personally.
Chelsea fan, we've got a Liverpool fan, and we've got a Man United fan.
Upcoming United fan, and if anything, right when they're somewhat
good
back,
again.
they're somewhat getting back
but
to
not
the
good
good
enough
era.
where you're like a bandwagon.
Yeah, no, this is like
No.
if it's the time to join, like now's the time.
Yeah,
like now it's
Yeah.
because if they do become really good again, then you'd be like, oh, is there when they're on the rise? They weren't what they used to be.
And but you don't have to suffer at
Yeah,
ways.
I will say also, like, again, because this is my first like soccer season really following outside of like the World Cup, guys.
Oh
This
my
is so
God, you
exciting.
guys,
I
this is
know.
so cool.
Sam has been so helpful in like teaching me everything, and I feel like I've learned so much.
Teacher, not an influencer. I will say that.
Teacher, not an influencer.
That's what I'll go with. I'll say I'm a footballing teacher, not a footballing influencer.
I like
if
that.
makes
I like
sense.
that.
I'm here to teach.
I will say I like think I'm probably also gonna follow Real Madrid just
From
because
Mbappe.
Mbappe,
Yeah.
and then
That's
also isn't Bellingham?
Yeah,
yeah.
he is there.
So I'm like that's like massive aura actually having like
is.
having both of them like Hey Jude and Mbappe on there. Like
It's hard to not root for them.
I don't like not like it's not like in the situation with baseball where I was like I do think I can have those two teams. It's not like I'm gonna root for like Real Madrid or anything, but I think I'll turn it on.
We were having that
It's
conversation. I
interesting.
think soccer is. I think it's generally more permitted to have multiple
Yeah.
teams
Yeah.
if they're in different.
It's usually I would say at most 2.
Yeah.
I don't see anything. Usually it's like
stretching 3.
Yeah, it's usually like a
Stretching
prem team and then someone else.
Yeah,
like that's what I see it as, and that's kind of like what society. It's what society has as acceptable at this point. I'd say.
Yeah.
It's like for me, it's Chelsea and then AC Milan, and I think that's pretty acceptable. Like my grandparents are Italian, like at least according to my parents, that's all they would have on when I was there visiting them. So even though I don't remember it, I can at least say like that's the reason why.
Okay.
And I think it's like kind of what the world. It's like you have a prem team because like most watched league outside of like the UCL Champions League, and then you like could have another team that's it's society's acceptable.
Okay,
there.
that's fair. We can focus on Sam's team here. We can focus on
what?
Chelsea. Talking about some offseason, obviously the big signing, Morgan Rogers.
Yes.
At first, I was saying I didn't want him, and like because you really I was saying right there about
we broke the news.
Yeah, you gave it to me, and I was like, wow, like, and at first I was more happy that we stole him from Arsenal. Like to me, that was like I can at least say that for a good year. Like even if Arsenal go back on the bounce, get a second prem. And then if like they win again, I could say, "Hey, well, we stole Morgan Rogers from you. Like he didn't want to join your small club." But I will say, because like in my head, I was like, I kind of forgot Xabi Alonso's now at the helm, because like I was like, where is he gonna play? But I was like, wait, if he does play a 3-4-2-1, Palmer next to Morgan Rogers as 2 attacking midfielders. Like when I kind of thought about that, like I just started smiling. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like we're winning the Prem. Like you have the 2 players who like pioneer like the cold celebration. Like it's them next to each other. They have such good chemistry. Like to me, like now processing it and being like, okay, like why because I'm so used to it just being we'll spend $100 million on some random player and just hope it works out. I see why we did this. I see exactly the vision Xabi Alonso has. And now I'm even more excited to go into the season because I think that like might go down as like an all-time duo, like Palmer and Rogers. Like I can't say Rogers, I have to say Morgan Rogers. This is like a small shower thought I always have. There's always these players you can't say their last name. You have to say like
That's true.
Their full name. Like Morgan Rogers, like to me like Harry Kane. I can't just say like Kane. Like I always say like Harry Kane.
That's very true.
Yeah. That's just a random thought I had. A little thing I thought of right before.
No, I feel like that's
There's
I'm
always
trying
those
to
players.
think of examples like outside of
There are some friends I have that I have to refer to them as their government name.
Full government name.
And I'm not gonna dox them out on here, but I've tried calling them by their first name, and it's just
can't do it.
It doesn't work.
So see, hold on. So you know how I call you Tiz sometimes?
Yeah.
This is so random. It's something I want to say.
Shower thought.
This is a shower thought. Because in high school, I also had a friend named Sam. So they would call him Sam, and my friends would call me Tiz or Tizzy.
Why?
So to explain, this is such a bad reason, but it was my Minecraft username was Tizzy. So they still call me. It's so like it's the only reason like they call me now. It's that they're like, oh, what a Tiz. I'm like, because now I think that sounds so weird. I'm just saying I think of you. Like now I think of like because like I actually do call you Tiz. I'm like wait. Why are we talking about Thomas? How do you know who Thomas is? Oh wait, no, they call me that because we like. For the like him, I'd be like, oh, Sam, and then for me, they always say either Tizzy or Tiz. So I remember like once, like this is so long ago, it's such a random thought. We had a like staff assignment come out, and like for some reason, Joe put like nicknames for everyone. And yours, yeah, do you remember that email?
No, but that's a name that I can never say alone.
Joe Henry.
It has to be Joe Henry.
We connected that.
It has to be Joe Henry.
Connected that very well because him, I would never say Joe. Like, oh, Joe Henry.
Yeah.
But like he did that email, and I was like, it was like Thomas Tizzy Tisdale. I was like, no way. Like, is his nickname actually Tizzy? Because I was like that was it's still what they call me. Like, they'll be like, oh, what a Tiz. And, like now, like to me, like my brain doesn't think of myself. That sounds so weird to say.
No. And I agree because
so random.
My sister in her friend group, there's multiple Elizabeths, but she goes by Tizzy.
No way.
And so it's really weird because now I know 3 people who go by Tiz/Tizzy.
I've never once heard that name before. I was literally like, I had to make a new Minecraft account because my old one got banned. Actually,
how do you get banned on Minecraft?
Where are we right now? We do have to move on. But I was like, just thinking of a name. I was like, oh, Tizzy's really funny, and I just made that. And
okay,
that's that little.
That's aura,
thing.
if you will.
It is to me. That's aura. Like the origin of the name Tizzy. But yeah, like I'm trying to segue back really like smoothly. But back to what I was saying about players like that. Like there are those players. Like I'm trying to think of ones outside of soccer, but there are those players where like I can't.
Lamar Jackson. Oh no, you can say Lamar.
No. You'd have to say Lamar Jackson. Or like even like Drake May. You cannot just say Drake or May. Like both of those just don't work. Back to soccer though, but yeah, back to Chelsea.
That's kind of how I feel about Connor Bedard. But moving on.
See, like we all have those players though.
We all have those players. I was trying to think of like
that might be a game in the making. I'll find a way to make it into something. Who knows?
But he'll find a way to.
I will. I'll always connect the dots one way or another. But back to Chelsea. They signed Henderson. I like that. We were actually just talking about same thing. LeBron having
a veteran.
See, like we can have fun and then go back to seriousness. Like having LeBron, like him being there to close games, to be experienced, to calm down the locker room. That's what Henderson's for.
Yeah.
Like, even though he had that random thing in the World Cup breaking his arm. I remember seeing that. I was like, what? But like, once his arm's fine, I actually am really happy he's there. I want Xhaka a lot just so I can troll Maggie, be like, oh, your captain came to us. Like, not surprised, but I was like, I really want it. I was like, and I just like love the name. I was like, Xhaka, like, gotta get him in. But Henderson, I'm like happy with. He's a good backup, good person to have in the locker room. We needed experience. We needed like someone older who can spread their wisdom, like how you kind of been doing today, Thomas. But
thank you.
Oh my God.
But Welbeck, I don't understand that one. But I'll leave it at that. I don't understand Welbeck. But I did get to see your team play, Thomas. I saw Liverpool in a front against Wrexham, and I will say they've kind of had the opposite. They have not moved in the transfer market.
Yeah,
I think at all this summer, right?
So funny is that I've actually been to Liverpool's stadium.
You've been to Anfield?
Yeah.
Whoa. When? Whoa. Wait, what? I haven't even been to a Premier League stadium yet.
It wasn't to see Liverpool.
Is it a concert?
Yes, I saw Taylor Swift there.
Oh, I was gonna guess who it was.
Yeah.
Really?
I should have had you guess.
She fun. I don't even know who I would.
Is that crazy? Anyway,
but
like, I was just thinking about that. I was like,
wait, how long ago was that then?
2024.
Oh wow, that's really. She played at Anfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't even know they did concerts there.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, there was they made a whole post about it.
Actually,
yeah.
I don't follow Liverpool like that, so or Taylor Swift really, so I would not know about that. But Anfield is a cool one. That's crazy.
It was really cool. It was really cool.
So have you been to Anfield yet?
I have not.
That's so. Have you seen Liverpool play at all or no? That's crazy. So you've seen the stadium. I've seen the team, and
that's crazy.
You just wear the
your
shirt.
Team.
Hey,
you just wear the shirt, I guess.
I mean,
I'm just a fan from afar, if you will.
Yeah. You just wear the shirt.
You should have came along, Thomas. That actually would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Spot you out in the stands, singing "Never Walk Alone."
But I mean, agreeing what you were saying.
They have been quiet in the transfer market.
Bring it back.
Yeah,
very.
I can't do too many.
Been deathly quiet. We're rumored to be exploring Barcola, but we're going to pay like 150 mil for him.
He was so good for France.
I mean,
like,
he is
phenomenal.
I mean, he's sensational. We definitely do need him. I do worry a little bit about. I mean, we saw the same thing with Isak last year. You know, if we pay a huge fee for him, there's immediately tons of pressure, just heaps and heaps of pressure on him. And even if he's like good, I mean, he still falls short of what you're expecting to pay for him. But I mean, that's also just.
I think he wants to smoke though. Like I think he's kind of been like in Doué's shadow, like nerve for both club and international, as being both teammates at PSG and then both teammates on France. I remember like me and my friends were talking and they're actually saying like, Tiz, like, what do you think about this? And I was like, I think Barcola is the better player. Like, and even like I think yes, he had that phenomenal Champions League final performance 2 seasons ago, but I don't know. I think Barcola is just more of like he's better on the ball. I think he's better tracking. I think he would help Liverpool a lot, especially not having really a definitive left back after Robertson leaving. Like I think he would be in that role. Like he can track back. I think he wants that pressure. I think he as a player has kind of been seen like, oh, I'm not talked about enough because I'm in Doué's shadow twice. But I think Barcola is the better player, and I think he wants to get out there and be the main man at a team. Because Isak was like that. He was the main man already at Newcastle. He was already Premier League experienced. But we see what happened when he had that pressure. I think Barcola is the opposite. I think he wants that big money transfer to be like, don't forget about me. I'm still here, and I can easily be like, I should be in that like front four that they were talking about. Because when people said that World Cup team, they're like, oh, they have Mbappe, Dembele, why am I blanking? Doué and not Cherokee. Elise. There we go. Elise. Yeah. Like, but not saying Barcola. I think he wants like that pressure. I think he wants to be the main man at a team and be like, okay, like don't turn your eyes away from me. Like, and I think he would explode in the Prem. I think he would, if they somehow signed him, I think he would be. I'm trying to think. I think he would be arguably like in the Golden Boot race. I think he is that good. I think he is like, or at least if anything, I think he would rival him for the most GA. Like I think he would.
All right.
Like I love him as a player. And if we didn't sign Morgan Rogers, if we weren't playing a Xabi Alonso system where we don't really play with the wingers, I would want him in my team because I think he is so good and he's great on the ball. Like. I am kind of like fanboying over him.
Yeah, you made me feel really good about it.
No, I think he is that good. Like when I was like, he came off the bench for Doué when I saw France play, and he scored. I think within 2 minutes of coming on. Yeah. Like he is that player who I think if he becomes number one at a team, he will do wonders, and he'll be able to live the heights that he wants to get into.
Okay. That I mean, I feel so good right now.
I should have said this at ERLO when I saw him because he kind of like sneakily walked away like when we were doing all the interviews. I should give him that pitch, like 30-second elevator pitch, like please sign Barcola, even though I'm not a Liverpool fan. But do it for Tiz.
I mean, we've
do
been
it for Tiz. not that Tiz,
not
Tiz.
Tiz, but that Tiz. Do it for him.
I mean, we've been all over in this segment. We've talked nicknames. We've talked full names for players.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've touched on Chelsea, on Liverpool. Quickly mentioning Man United, you've signed 2 midfielders, Andre Santos from Chelsea, Tielemans from Aston Villa. I mean,
that might be the signing of the summer, at least to me so far.
I mean, you've got Rashford coming back. Still very quiet. I think the Prem overall has been pretty silent outside of, Man City signing Anderson and, of course, the Morgan Rogers signing. But that's going to do it for us talking off-season soccer. When we come back, we're going to touch on some scandals. It's going to get a little scandalous up in here. We'll be back. You're listening to One on One.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Hey, this is Chris Carino, Fordham and WFUV class of 1992. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Welcome back inside the Roseville studio here on the campus of Fordham University. I said before the break that we're going to get a little scandalous.
Up in here.
Are there some scandals? I mean, the first one that comes to mind, it's been really the story coming out of the World Cup, has been FIFA President Gianni Infantino threatening, creating plans. I really don't know how far he got with them, but he said that he was going to sell stakes in the World Cup for private equity to invest in. And then I think the worst part of it was that he promised $40 million to every football federation. Sounds good in premise. But if you didn't agree by a certain date, that would get knocked down to $10 million, which, if you're not reading the writing on the wall, I mean, that's blackmail. It's pretty clear as day. Yeah, and let's just say that news was not taken well by footballing fans across the world, also by federations, namely
not by
UEFA,
me.
Not by Sam.
Very active on my.
And Sam
the influencer, was very
Sam
active, very outraged. But
on my teaching self, I'll say that I had to give a lesson to everyone who didn't know what was going on. I'll leave it like that.
With Sam's massive amount of influence.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to lie. Teachers don't have influence. Like, what am I saying?
He's an influencer. Okay,
but,
continue.
But
actually, not true. Bobby has a lot of influence. He was a teacher. So.
But one federation that did not take it well, or right off the bat, was UEFA. They've been chirping at FIFA for a large number, mainly with the Balogun red card in the World Cup that we've touched on this show, also on our podcast. FUVFC, shameless plug. Hopefully we'll be back for the club season. But yeah, UEFA withdrew from the World Cup, threatened to withdraw. And I think once they did that, I think as a fan, I knew.
The ball rolling.
I think as a fan, I knew that Infantino's plan to sell off the World Cup wasn't going to happen, because how can you do that without the best footballing continent out there?
It would just fall apart. And I remember when that UEFA post came out, and I was just legitimately happy. I was like, I know UEFA has controversies. I know no matter where you are, no matter who you are, when you're in a position of power, there's going to be people who are critiqueful of you no matter what. And I'm not saying UEFA is perfect, but to take such a big stance, to be like, you know what, we're going to pull out of the World Cup, and not even just saying just the World Cup, saying all FIFA competitions, saying we will not support you if you do this. Yeah. And I think UEFA was the biggest spokesman of this. I would say the AFC, the Asian Football Confederation, yeah. So the AFC and then CONCACAF, they both quickly after, they also made statements saying we support UEFA in this. We will not stand for it. They did not say they would pull out of competitions, but they did show full support for UEFA and did not show any support for FIFA. And we were saying this behind the glass earlier, right around an hour before it came out that Infantino and FIFA are scrapping this whole FFE stuff. It was that CONMEBOL came out with their statement, and I remember thinking, I was like, they're not gonna I knew they weren't gonna get full support, and to me, I was right. They were very on the edge. They did not really say anything to be like, oh, we are against you. They said they need to hear more before we put out another statement, which is basically saying, oh, we want to be on the right side of this. It's basically saying, if it goes this way, we'll support you. If it goes this way, we'll support you. And it creates this big on trust now. CONMEBOL president was also the only one really showing the support for 64-team World Cup, which I don't want. I think 48 is the perfect amount. I like the new additions we've gotten. I think 48 teams was more interesting as well than 32. 64 would be way too much. You're going to have games that become and no disrespect to lesser footballing countries, but you get games where they aren't the best quality. It does not feel like the World Cup. It would feel more like an international friendly than a World Cup, especially with how ticket prices are. You're not paying the money you would for a World Cup game. It would feel like you're paying money to see something you would see locally for like international friendly, and it would not feel like, oh, this is a World Cup match we're watching. So and CONMEBOL was the only federation to put out support for 60-14 World Cup. Only federation to say, really, like, because what's it called, AFCON didn't really say anything, or not AFCON, like Africa, they didn't really say anything, but South America, they very much, if anything, to me, indecision is way worse than wrong decision. Sopranos code, actually. But I always say indecision, and I think indecision's way more hurtful than wrong decision. And I think showing your indecision with that shows you rather not upset FIFA and Infantino than either pick a side.
Yeah.
I'd much rather someone pick a side than just be right in the middle. It's kind of the worst thing you can do.
I agree with that for the most part. Like, Infantino's really just had a quite disastrous last month or so. Like, he was by no means well liked coming into the World Cup, but
still favored for re-election, I would say.
Yeah, he was completely favored for re-election. Part of that is just the way FIFA's set up in terms of how money's distributed. Like, you can make a bunch of promises that no other politician or someone running for the presidency could. But then it's just been, especially since the World Cup, he's just been on a weird kick. I don't really know what's going on with him. He's just really vengeful. He came out with an interview that the reason why he's sort of like this is because he got picked on as a kid for having freckles and ginger hair.
And now he has no
being
hair.
Italian.
Now he's bald.
And it's like I'm supposed to feel bad for you. I mean, it's just like it's really weird.
Come on, that's
I can't say I was particularly surprised when he announced that, just considering how much money FIFA's made, how much I think they've pretty clearly expressed their desire to make money. Expanding the World Cup. I mean, you can try to market that as, just wanting to expand the game and get countries in, and it did have that benefit, but it also felt like it was just clearly FIFA wanting to make more money. They made $15 billion from the World Cup, and they don't have to pay a dime to host these things. It is entirely on the host nation to pay those things. So yeah, I mean, it's clear how, money thirsty FIFA can be at times, and it's just, it wasn't surprising to see. Obviously, very disheartening, but just to see the football community come together, I think it was really heartwarming for the most part. Outside of CONMEBOL, being indecisive as you would say.
It does show that, like, at least to me, like, when the power's in the people, it does show, like, really who is right. It shows, like, like, you're taking a stand against, like, big, like, corporation and be like, you know what, like, if we show, like, our unity in this, it shows what will prevail.
Well, and it's like if all of these, like, teams, countries, like, fans, like, come together and are under or like of the same like sort of opinion on something, like that's a massive amount of power, and it does have the massive influence to make. Yeah,
because I didn't even vote on it. It was just that it was all three of those federations just like putting out literally notes saying like this is what we'll do, and it was less than a week it kind of collapsed. So it shows the power in people, the power in unity, and that like the moment they can all decide on something, it backfires that quickly.
Yeah. Changing topics to another scandal that Sam and I have been talking about, and I guess this is another story, part of a larger theme, just about where sports journalism is at right now. Obviously, it's very pertinent to the work that we do here. Fabrizio Romano, and for those not familiar with him, he is like the de facto sports or soccer journalist in Europe.
He's like Shams, right?
He's like Shams. He's like Adam Schefter. I mean, he's the guy who's on Twitter. He's the guy, the first guy to break the news. So it's come out recently that apparently he doesn't actually fact check or it doesn't 100% confirm the stories that he puts out. Which I mean, it's fine. It's not completely unexpected, but it all just stems from a desire. Like, he built his reputation on being the number one insider, the guy who would release all the stuff
it's more
first.
now being, and I think the three of us here can all, or anyone here really, can really resonate with, like, why people are so annoyed at this. Like, all of us, we talk about sports, like some of us, like Emma, or you're at the Ram, like, we do this as either a hobby, job, whatever, and seeing something so disheartening where it's just for the clicks, it's just to be the first one out. Like, he's putting out players going to teams where it's not even confirmed yet. He's putting out score lines even when the game's not over yet, and then he has to delete the post and make a new one because the score had changed. Like, I was literally at the Norway-Brazil game, and I was literally, like, seeing notifications saying Fabrizio Romano, like, put out a post. I'm like, how is he putting out a post? The score's not even over, and he was wrong. He put 2-0 for Norway-Brazil, and then Neymar scores a penalty in the last minute to make it 2-1. And he's, like, I was saying this 2 days ago about Berdasi's death. He puts out a post with no caption, just a post that Berdasi passed away. And then after, like, 2-3 minutes, he makes a caption, puts it out, just because he has to be number one. And when Diego Jota passed away, he did 15 posts about one man's death. Like, I don't even think world leaders would get that type of, like,
coverage.
Yeah, from one place. Like, hypothetically, say it was, like, I don't know, the New York Times doing something. I don't think they're doing 15 consecutive articles. And it's like, this is a player who, he was married it was like 2 weeks before it was his wedding, and you're doing 15 posts about him, basically saying the same thing over and over and over again, just so you can get an extra click, so you get an extra like on something. It's so, and in between that, he's putting, like, transfer news, saying, like, oh, this happened, like, take a break from it. Like, it's not, like, even though it is your job, you are not mandatory. You're not required to be posting this much about something. Like, you put out one post saying, like, how horrible it was, and you can say, just for our respect, we're going to take a break on transfers, because the world's not over if you're half a day late to say Danny Welbeck's going to Chelsea. Like, it's not, like, the priority in the world, and, like, especially when it's such a sad story, to milk it for literal dollar signs. It, like, sounds comedic. It really does. Like, it's disheartening to the world of sports journalism, because it kind of just makes what people work hard for and what people want the opportunities to do in life to get towards, and just because someone wants to make an empire out of it and be like, oh, I'm, like, I can post whatever I want and I'll be right because people trust me, and that's, oh, if I'm the fastest, then it means, like, you have to, like, trust me, even though pen and paper hasn't been reached yet, and he's saying it has. So you can't really call yourself a journalist when there's blatant lying in what you're doing, and it just becomes, like, a sense of distrust when you see stuff like this.
Yeah, and, like, part of being a journalist is obviously, like, knowing how to anticipate things that could happen, but it's also knowing that there's so much, like, uncertainty, and, like, we were just talking about, like, the trade stuff, and, like, I was at the Mets on Thursday night when AJ Minter, like, the news got to press that he was being traded, and they, like, even though it was, like, people thought that Minter was going to be traded, they still were like, okay, gotta make my post now, like, you know, like, you can anticipate that, but it's still, like, not gonna be, like, you can't, like, act as anything's fact until it is, and, like, part of being a journalist is also being able to adapt to when things are not what you expected them to be. Like, and, like, not in the way that that's not me defending him. That's
it's
not
like,
in the way that he is doing it. Like, you can't be, like, you can't post things so quickly, even if you think that something is going to be a certain way, because, like, you can't do something before it's happened. Like, that's, like, not how it works.
To me, I only see it as true when, like, for example, John Stones just went to Inter Milan, and I didn't, like, to me in my head, even though he got Here We Go, I was like, I'm not believing it until I see him in an Inter jersey. And then when they post a picture of him in an Inter jersey, or, like, when they post him, like, in the press conference room signing a contract, that to me is fact. Yeah. And when we don't know a transfer fee, when we don't know any contracts have been signed, any signatures have been put out, to me it's not 100% done.
Yeah.
And, like, it becomes disheartening because, like, then, like, are we supposed to trust you? Like, to me now, Here We Go's become like, not like, oh my God, like it's set in stone. It just becomes like, oh, are we going to see, like, when are we actually going to see the player announce this? When are we going to see teams announce this? And it ruins the days of when it used to be like, and I was saying to you, like, we would like say for Morgan Rogers at Chelsea, we'd like see a cool video that Chelsea releases being like, I don't know, Palmer and Morgan Rogers taking an ice bath together, and be like, oh, like they hold up a shirt, like he's coming to Chelsea. And like I was actually gonna ask you this the LeBron thing, but I thought it was too off topic, but now it's kind of relevant. I was gonna say, like, how did you guys see the news? Because I saw his post. Like, I was on Instagram. I was like, oh my God, LeBron posted. Yep. I clicked on the video. I watched it. And at the end, like, that little coin flipped and it said the Sixers. I miss those days. And I'm so happy I got to see it without being either, like, an article sent to me or, like, I just see, like, ESPN say, like, oh, LeBron's going to the Sixers according to blank. Like, yes, that's their job. I 100% respect that. But it does, and I do think, like, at least how it was with LeBron, it was more in the sense that it was simultaneously, where it was like all happening at the same time to where you would still experience that with LeBron. Now, at least for soccer, you don't see that. You don't see like these big surprises. You don't see it being like, oh, a team's posting this and then it comes out. It's that it has to come out way before even like us as fans want to know these things. Like, we want to see the surprise. We want to see randomly, I don't know, Henderson walk out like in a Chelsea jersey and be like, oh my God, what, like, why is Henderson here? Like, it ruins those days of what sports was before social media kind of just like influenced it. And it's hurting sports journalism when you're putting out lies to be the first one out there.
Yeah. And with so much like this, kind of like the last thing I have to say about this, but with so much like distrust in reporting in general, I feel like these days, like adding even more to that unnecessarily is just like, it's hurting all of us. So like, why would you? Like,
and it just hurts as like being a fan. It's like hard to like just scroll and then you see like Fabrizio posts like 5 things about the same thing where he can just post it and he doesn't like make an article. He doesn't like do it formally where it's like something where that like people's jobs are like make an article to like actually do like research to be like, okay, like this happened, like give a timeline of stuff instead of it just being AI Instagram post of a player in a jersey and being like, oh, it's rumored, or like, oh, blank was spotted here. Like, it's like he feels like a tabloid. Like, we're not. He's not an opinion piece. He's supposed to be facts, and it hurts seeing these things because now to me Fabrizio feels like a tabloid. It feels like he has like TMZ or something. He has like all his like goons out there, like outside hotels and outside stadiums or wherever they conduct, like player signings, and it just feels like he more or less like just has players just like standing against the wall with like their foot on it, being like just like getting a picture or something. It doesn't feel like reporting. It feels more to me just like gossip, and it's the last thing I want to see in something where everyone who is at FUV, even if like you're not part of the RAM or something, like we are all partly journalists in a sense. We're all here to talk about stories we see. And it becomes hurtful seeing false reporting, hurtful seeing stuff just be put out there to be the first one to report it.
I mean, and that's not to mention the money he's been getting from Saudi Arabia and from American Airlines recently, and I mean it all has to do with the attention economy, and that's the reality of the world we live in. I wish I mean that we could all wish for things. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like I wish that we weren't so obsessed with speed and being the first to know. Like you mentioned, I just missed finding out organically. I wished I didn't
just getting that reaction.
I wish I didn't have to have the news shoved down my throat. Especially with soccer, like it doesn't really change my life whether I found out that Morgan Rogers signed with Chelsea, day like the instant that it happened or a week later. Like that just really does not change my life. But this has been a very enlightening conversation.
Different from what we usually like.
Yeah,
our usual
it's very deep, very sad, very somber. But we have one more game to lighten the mood. After this break, you're listening to One on One, New York's longest sports call-in show. Wow. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
Want to be part of the Ramley? It all starts here. I'm Nathan Rogers.
And I'm Kate Cox, and we are two of your hosts for On the Hill, WFUV's exclusive podcast for all things Fordham athletics.
From the field of Moglia Stadium to the hardwood of the historic Rose Hill Gym, we've got you covered with the ins and outs of Fordham sports.
Every week, every play, every round. Tune in weekly wherever you get your podcasts. This is On the Hill.
We welcome you back inside the Roseau studio for one last game brought to you by Sam. It's the classic, my name is, but I'll let Sam explain the rules and get
I
us
actually
started.
wrote on the rules for this. I just wrote rules. Y'all know the rules. I will just quickly explain it. Maybe this is your first time hearing this, but hi, my name is. You have the categories for this one is sports teams logos, but it's usually either a player or just you have to guess something, and then 5 questions. The first question is the hardest, worth 5 points, and then descends to 1 point where that's the easiest one. We're going to go right into it because we've had our surprise third game, the code words going throughout the entire one. This is our first, I think, 3-game show we've ever had. We'll go right into it. Our first clue is triangle. Just triangle.
Wait, what are we guessing?
Oh, sorry. Let's say quickly, sports teams logos.
Okay.
Like major.
Any?
Oh,
this is not just. I would say there's no like collegiate or like I don't know minor league. It's just sports teams logos. So triangle.
Genuinely.
I have no idea. If it's like any sport, I have
It's
no idea.
anything. Whatever your heart
We'll just go Yankees, I guess. I don't really know.
How many have any guess?
I feel like I do have a guess, but I can't think of the name of the team. Like I can see the logo in my head, but I can't think of the name.
I can envision it.
But so I'm just not even gonna go with that. We're
It's
gonna
just-
go. I'm trying to think of something like remotely like triangle-esque.
Whatever your heart desires. Whatever.
We're
it
gonna
might
go
be.
San Jose Sharks because that does have a triangle in it.
Interesting. I feel like I'm cooked with NHL logos, but we'll see.
Trying to think. I don't even know if I put any.
I don't think Sam put any, so I think you're fine.
We'll see. But no one gets the 5 points for that one. Next one, letters arch. So in the logo, the letters
I see.
arch.
The letters arch.
Yeah. What else? Like I can't really explain it any other way. They arch. They have an arch to them. It's not like straight. It's. Whoop.
I feel like you're gonna get this, Thomas, because I think it's a soccer logo.
No, but there's. I'm trying to think of curved letters.
I'll
and
say
soccer
this.
Logos.
Actually, I would say this. There's no soccer. There's actually
Okay,
no
that's
soccer.
fair.
Really?
Okay.
Soccer ones became either they were too easy or way too hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's fair.
So I will eliminate that. These are only U.S. sports.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Really?
Knicks. That's the only curved logo that's coming
That's
to
a
mind.
really good. I feel
Emma,
like
any guesses?
this is so hard. I feel like I can't even like guess. I don't arched.
I say you really have to envision it.
An
You have to be
arched
chronicling on your phone like
triangle.
I am.
I don't know. I'm still because I don't have another guess. I'm just gonna continue with the Sharks just to have a guess.
Yeah, it's 4 points to you, Thomas. It is the Knicks.
That's
So
I was pretty sure once you said it. I was
yeah.
like,
What are the triangles in the logo?
So it's a upside down triangle behind it. If you want to just Google it. Yeah. See, like it's kind of like you kind of see my envision once you see. So say it's right down somewhere, Thomas. You have 4 points, but it was triangle, letters, arch, blockish letters, basketball, orange and blue. Which I think blockish letters would have gave it away. But we'll go to our next one. Lines. All I wrote down was lines.
Nets.
Yankees.
Thomas, that's 5 points.
Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go. Come on. I love how hyped you get, Thomas. Right off the bounce.
This game is so rigged.
No, come on.
Is so
that could have
rigged.
been any team I wrote. It could be lines.
Sorry, you're a fan of the poverty Met. Come
The
on.
poverty Mets.
Oh my God! All
I
right,
think
so
you could say
was that
anything about
9
Mets, but I
points?
don't think you could say poverty.
Hey, what's the scoreboard? What's the scoreboard right now?
All right,
We have
continue.
9-0. I'll say the rest of them was lines, cursive, hat, bat, baseball. Next one we have is stars. Stars.
Like, I don't.
Okay,
One thing that the audience doesn't know, because I actually haven't mentioned it, which is crazy because I'm actually a baby about like sickness and stuff like that, but I'm so sick. So my brain feels like
the
fog.
excuses are coming out already.
Excuses are coming out.
This might have to be a forfeit game if it's a runaway at one point.
You said stars?
Stars.
Stars?
That's what I wrote.
No, I know.
I wrote stars.
God. Is it a different sport from the sports?
Oh
stuff?
my! I can't be given handouts like this.
Hey, you haven't guessed yet either.
I do you want me to guess? I'll go.
It's whoever.
I'll go Steelers.
It's the intimidation right there.
I feel like Steelers is a great guess.
Oh darn! I shouldn't have let him go first.
I don't know. Like, I literally don't know.
You can throw out whatever you think it might be.
Yeah. You know, because I'm right.
I'm pretty sure there are no stars in this logo, but I'm just going to throw out Giants then, because if we're going football.
Neither of you got the 5 points. Next one I wrote, large stars.
So there's very descriptive.
There's small stars and large stars on this logo. There's two different sizes of stars. Trust me, like, when you see these ones, when you Google them after, you'll kind of get it.
Kind of.
Oh no, you'll get it. You'll get it. You'll have to see my vision of like, okay, how do I?
I'm gonna go 76ers.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll go Cowboys.
That's 4 points to you, Emma. It's the 76ers. So there's the smaller stars, like that kind of arch, and then there's bigger stars on the like circle. The next one I wrote was numbers, 76ers, blue basketball. So we have 9-4.
Yeah.
There's still room. There's still wiggle room.
I'm not expecting to win this.
1 5 and you're right back into it. But our next one is crest. Crest.
What could that
I think
be?
once you have it in your head, it's the only. Well, for American sports, yeah, it really is like the only one that has like a crest of sense.
Oh, shoot. Okay, let's roll through the teams real quick.
Let's roll through the teams.
7 minutes. I don't know how quickly we can roll through them, but
let's name every major sports team in America right now. Okay, so we know it's not hockey. That gets rid of the league.
I feel like that puts me at such a disadvantage,
that is
especially
really tough.
because I literally have done a game. I made my mom test me on all of the NHL logos.
Wow,
so
that's passion.
I feel like it puts me at such a disadvantage.
I'm genuinely shoot.
A crest,
yeah.
like okay,
genuinely.
I could say a different word for crest, but it would give it a lot more of a hint. So I will still say crest.
No. Don't help us.
He doesn't want the handouts.
Yeah, no handouts on this show. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'll just go Jets.
Okay. I guess I'll go Giants.
Those are guesses. Those are just guesses. That's all I can say. Next is that's wrong, but next is a weapon. There's a weapon in this logo.
Raiders.
Do I get a guess?
That's exactly what I was thinking. There's no like bomb. I mean, my mind immediately went to Arsenal, but that doesn't really help.
That's what I try to say right at the ball. Right at the bat. There's no soccer here.
Yeah,
and I did think it'd make it more fair since
it would.
It'd be a lot more of a disadvantage for.
I just. Are there any NBA teams with weapons? I'll go Sabres. I know there's not a hockey team, but
going to 9-8 now. It is the Raiders. So I would say the other word for crest would be shield. To me, it's more of a crest, but we have crest, weapon, accessory because he's an eye patch, armor.
I could see it as a crest, but I would call it more of a shield.
I would, but like to make it the five.
No, of course.
All right, next one we have is triangle again. This one I think is can't go away with this. Like this one I think is more of a triangle though than the other one, but they're both triangles. It's like a geometry class.
What? Feels like I'm in kindergarten again.
I would say the next one it might be just whoever can get it first. If you guys do go to the next clue.
I have no idea.
Yeah, what could what? I'll just go Commanders. They've got some triangles in there, I think.
Ew.
No need for that.
I'll go Nats then.
Neither. Next one is mask. Really? Wow.
Mask?
What?
I thought this would be.
What?
I thought one of you would get it very quickly at this.
What?
There's a mask. On the logo, whatever it is, to not give away what it is, has a mask on. It is not the appearance. They are wearing something over them. They have a mask on. That's all I can say.
I have no idea.
I genuinely don't know. I don't know what Viking.
What's a random football team? Like,
a Viking, I guess. That's what I'm.
I'd say it has to be a bit more rapid fire if we want to conclude our.
Yeah, let's go Viking.
Okay. I know there's no mask on this. I'm just gonna go Mets because I literally.
Next one is animal.
They've got a mask on. What?
With an animal.
Yes.
I think it's got to be NFL team. Are you raising your hand? I'll go Seahawks.
No, I had a light bulb moment, but I don't know the name of the team.
I'll go Seahawks.
I'll have this be our last one.
I'm just going to go Broncos.
Yeah. All right. Next one is cross. Not a literal cross, but there's an intersection.
I actually have no idea. I have no idea. Saints. Just go. Just go.
Right. No. We're gonna take our time here.
We do have to review the last game here.
Titans.
Last one, black and gold.
Black and gold.
Yeah.
Pirates?
No. I was just say it's no. This might be the first one where no one gets
NFL
it.
black and gold mask. I don't know if it's NFL. Yeah, man, this is a rough one.
Do you want just to reveal
Browns?
It was the Ducks, the Anaheim Ducks.
You said no NHL.
No hockey.
No, I didn't say in general. I said for the last one it was.
I would have guessed Ducks because I know that.
I never said that though. I said no NHL for like no. It's for when it was the which one was it? It was for the Yankees or for the Sixers. I said no, there's no hockey on this.
Because it's a Duck. Can I get extra points if I do a fun fact about the Ducks?
No. Stop the count. Stop the count. No.
They used to be they're the Disney Ducks.
I didn't know that one.
They're the Disney Ducks.
That is a
pretty
zero
cool.
right there. But we're gonna quickly do our final game. So we'll say it's 1-0 to Thomas, or actually 2-0.
2-0.
But you know what? We'll make this one double points. So I need you guys. Did you text? All right.
I did.
So now I would say I have the points tally. It is 21 to 8.
What? How did you get 20? Was your word aura?
So hold on. We'll say this. I'm trying to think.
We have to
very quickly. Okay. Do you want each of you just guess the easy word quickly?
No, I'm gonna guess the hard word.
Okay, just do the hard word.
Gargantuan.
No.
It was not.
It was not. Oh shoot! What was my word?
Yours was
rage bait.
Rage bait. He said it once right at the start of the show.
Shoot! I totally forgot what it was.
You text me what it was. you had that. You did text
brain
me.
rot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to guess each other's software?
I literally have no idea.
I have no idea.
Okay, so Emma's was massive, and she got away with it the entire show. She said
crazy.
Massive so many times. Thomas, you only said it a few times. His was toxic.
Yeah, I really couldn't fit that in. I was thinking about the Britney Spears song, but that's gonna wrap it up for us here. I've been Thomas Tisdale, Sam Giangrande, Emma Leonardi in the studio, Kurt Sippel being video producer and radio producer. Bobby Chaffardini is our sports director here at WFUV Sports. Thank you so much for listening to One on One. We'll see you next week.